Gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to the Radacast as we are here with Miss Kips casting some TDL Pro Series action here tonight. It's going to be Chan Dogs versus C-Dub Esports. Kips, how are you doing today?
Only 10 seconds.
Pretty good, apart from the fact that I just messed up my audio settings, so gonna fix those real quick. But otherwise, yeah, I'm getting warmed up and ready for some DPC action in a couple of days, and this is the perfect start to a season like that. It's a nice quality games in, but in a more relaxed atmosphere, you know? It's not the entire world on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. It is $400 are on the line. So for some of these teams, that might feel like the entire world, Kips, my friend. But yeah, we'll definitely, and I mean, dipping into the cup early, taking the 5-pick Lina. This hero has just been adored by the higher MMR brackets in pubs and organized Dota alike.
Radiant's turn to royalist.
Well, there's Dora, and we are going fast. So,
Dora the Explorer?
yeah, you warned me, and there she is. And I gotta say, Chandogs here are walking into. If this was the CN DPC, which I've been watching religiously for the past couple of days, I would already say that this is over. Like Lena and Brood the Mother, you gave them both? Okay. Lena is an absolute monster right now, and the same can be said for Broodmother. Like, especially when you're playing up against a specialist, which they have on board here. Very much a zoo offlaner over on the side of CW Esports. So, yeah, you're going to go up versus the incredible farming potential and speedy right clicks of Alina and the scouting of the Broodmother. That's going to be rough no matter what you throw at it. And Marcy Doom, very nice offlane combination, certainly, but nothing like these two heavy hitters here.
Oh, shit.
Mm.
Oh, I just was posting all my links and I got rid of your webcam. Now we're back. We're back up and running. Sorry about that, guys. I know everybody wants to see Kips and not just my ugly mug all day. But so have you been seeing any support Doom in your pubs? Because I have been seeing a little bit of the 4-position Doom coming back around.
No, like all of the Doom and it. I mean, my pubs. Come on, my pubs are being watched at like. Watching at the high level. No, all I've seen really are offlane Dooms, and it's all the same recipe. It's a Midas, a BKB, a Blink Dagger, an Octarine Core, a Refresher. That's the Doom. Maybe a Shiva's Guard if they're feeling cheeky. And are you hoping for a +4 Doom here with like a +3 Marcy perhaps? Is that what you're angling for?
I mean, it'd be something that I'd be interested in seeing. Honestly, maybe more just for being Team Chaos than anything else. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I definitely. It's funny. You see these ideas in the lower MMR brackets, and you can almost see a little bit of justification. I think is the word behind what they're trying to do, and so
Only 10 seconds.
I would like to see higher MMR players take the same concept and then just actually execute the concept the way that it's meant to be executed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so that's something that I'm always looking for the cutting edge tech. Of course, I cast all sorts of Dota from fucking 1k MMR all the way up to 5k MMR. I promise that'll be my only F-bomb of the cast. I'm trying to show how professional I am, Kips. But yeah, as we're ripping through this ban phase. They're getting rid of the TA, the Sniper, and the Morphling. All kind of heroes that are a bit of a problem for this Lina.
Yep. The only pick that's still open here that I would consider to be a problem for Alina is the Ursa, but I do think that he suffers a lot versus the Broodmother. Ursa is, you know, you win your lane on trading mostly. It's like, all right, I get my claws into you 3 times and now you have to back off for a while. And Broodmother is like, funny. Let me activate Insatiable Hunger and, you know, you can try if you'd like. But I wanna go in on this what you said earlier. The fun thing is that I've spoken a lot with Renessa about this. Who she used to date 1437, right? I worked with 1437 actually when they were in a relationship when he was in TNC. And the thing is that she said that a bunch of strategies that he came up with were from her pubs, because these are two very smart people, right? This was a
Sure.
proper power couple. And the thing is that if it works in low MMR, it'll work even better in high MMR.
Right, and
Because
that's
it's about easy execution.
sure. And I'm a firm believer that anything is viable in the game of Dota 2 as long as you have thought out the concept and you are executing said concept. Anything can be viable. Some things,
Yes.
some concepts are pretty trash and they only work in very, very limited circumstances. But I mean, it's just one of those things, dude. Like I've casted games where the answer to the BKB Black Hole Enigma, back when Enigma was one of the strongest heroes in the game, just like a patch ago, was carry Elder Titan. So he threw out the Split Earth, and then as soon as that hit, he would transfer himself to the Spirit and just whack the Enigma twice before he could refresh, and Enigma was dead.
Nice.
And it worked, and he did it like clockwork every single fight. That was the whole reason for the hero. That was the whole reason for the pick. And I mean, they proved that it is viable and it is possible to do it. So like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm just a firm believer that in this wacky, crazy world of Dota 2, anything can be done here. As we are going to see a Tusk Hoodwink probably support combo here. Do you think who's the 5?
I think you're running the Hoodwink as a 5, because this Tusk wants to be in lane with the Broodmother, and you take one level of tag team, and all those spiders are going to hit like a truck. So this level 6 from the Broodmother is going to be absolutely devastating. And I don't see anyone, no, like, sure, fish, it's fine, but she's not going to be able to stay there unless you come in with like a significant turnaround on that level 6 push from the Broodmother. And right now, you're going to have to bring in like a pretty big nuker from the mid lane, I'd say. Lesh is still open. I think Lesh could be very good, and you buy a Blink Digger, you get on top of the Lina. You can make that happen, but in the end, Lina is one of the better Lesh counter picks as well.
All chat wheels flying. These teams are starting to feel it. As there was a little bit of a delay, we had some VC issues. We had some players showing up a little bit behind happening. So sorry for the delay. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in as the stream is just now going live. We've officially reached that 5-minute mark. But yeah, it's so far it sounds like Kips is very firmly in the C-dub corner. We'll see if Chandogs are able to make any sort of adjustments to their game, to their draft, to kind of bring Kips back in their side.
To be fair, it's gonna be hard. C-dub's got this on like the MMR rankings alone, which is always, especially like the lower tier pro level. I do like to look at that because the level of those badges just says a lot about who's going to have an easier task in general. A lot of these players are also used to playing with each other, whereas for Chandogs, I honestly have no idea, but their team has not existed for very long. They've played 3 officials together so far.
So it has been done here in TDL history, and back in the TDL lore, you go back through the books where teams, I mean, I can't remember the name of the team now exactly off the top of my head, but they came into the tournament having only played 7 games previously under that flag, under that banner, and they won the whole league. Of course, I think the talent pool for this time around, it's a little bit stronger. Of course, they upped the prize pool. We're up to a $400 prize pool for this time around, so we got a couple of DPC teams in here. So it's very possible that when we're looking at the finals, we're looking at C-Dub versus Mad Kings, but there's a lot of Dota to be played before we get there.
5 seconds remain.
And in the meantime, C-Dub is taking out some of the mid heroes that do a good amount of magic damage, as well as are hard to bring down with the limited amount of lockdown that they have right now. Like, you don't have any good point and click stuns here on C-Dub. You have to count on the bushwhack, you have to count on the tusk punches, which of course come in fairly late. Chandogs, of course, only have the Marcy right now, so neither of these teams particularly heavy on the lockdown, which means that Chandogs is also banning out one of those very, very pesky mobile mid laners, taking out the Pangolier, who would also, his AoE would be fantastic versus the Naga Siren, right? But none of that. And now the Zeus, so yeah, if C-Dub wants to be absolute mad lads, they could pick up the Lesh. No, it's Storm Spirit, okay. But yeah, Lina carry, as expected. Storm Spirit over on the mid lane, Broodmother off. Tusk with the Brood, Hoodwink with the Alina. And that's a lane with good kill potential as well. Like between the Lina getting one level of the Light Strike array and Hoodwink getting some bushwhacks in. Yeah, you can kill people there.
Yeah, and I mean, you also get that little burst pop with the Acorn shot on top of that, and I mean, with the 1-1-4 build, it does not take long for this Lina to get online, and it does not take long before she's ripping through you with those machine gun fiery soul stacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and of course, the fact that you go Maelstrom feels very nice versus the Naga Siren illusions as well. They have high armor, you need to do a lot of physical damage to take them down, but, you know, magic on illusions works like a charm, especially since once you are indeed a machine gun, there's not a lot of cooldowns on those charges. And there is the Void Spirit to get on top of that. Lina does decently well versus a Broodmother as well. You can clean up pushes decently, but I feel like a lot of his priorities are just going to be like getting somehow a remnant onto that Storm Spirit, because otherwise it's really only the root from the Naga Siren that can do anything against him here.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a pretty open Storm game indeed, and they're gonna have to answer some questions, are the Chandogs here in game number 1, which of course, just so that everybody knows, so it's a round robin best of 1 here in the early stages. So this will be a best of 1. All 3 games that we cover today will be a best of 1, and then later on tonight, Crucial and I will come back for a best of 3 grand finals. But for now, looking at this draft, what is the style of play that Chandogs are going to have to execute in order to make this a game?
Their first order of business is going to have to be to get this Naga Siren a good enough game to get these lanes shoved out, because the Doom is not really going to do anything for you in terms of like making space. He's not like somebody who naturally pushes through the offlane tower. And instead what you're going to be looking for is to have good inroads for your Void Spirit to make rotations happen. Or get an early level 6 on your Winter Wyvern, that's the alternative, and then try to catch with the Winter Scourge on the pushes that are going to come out from the Dire side, and they will be fast. I mean, we know the Broodmother is going to come on 6, right, with that Tusk in tow.
Yeah. And I'm worried for the dog pack, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hopefully they're able to make this a game and prove me wrong. But just looking at the drafts in a vacuum, I think I'm with you. I'm back in the C-Dub draft. But all the talk is about to be done. We're 30 seconds to the rune time, so it's the perfect time to get into the hero introductions for game number 1 of Chandogs versus C-Dub. Chandogs will be on the Radiant side of the map. Boz will be playing the Marcy. It will be Mercurial on the Naga Siren, period. On the Void Spirit up top, it will be baptized as 4-3 in the on the Winter Wyvern. And Yeezus is what
Jesus.
we'll call him. Yeezus will be on the Doom, where we're going to say he's trying to be Kanye. Meanwhile, for the Dire side of the map, it will be Aframoosh on the carry Lina. It will be Combastic on the Tusk. We will be seeing Biak on the Storm Spirit. Down in the bottom lane, Isla will be on the Broodmother and Sanctified on the Hoodwink. So they're not listening to you, Kips. They're sending the Tuskar up top and sending the Hoodwink down bottom with this Brood.
I mean, that's fine as well, right? Neither of these lanes are in particular trouble here. This Brood is going to have a good time no matter what. And I do think the double range lane on top would have been a little bit fragile. So you bring some of the fight with that Tusk, and like the tag team plus the Lina's Fiery Soul, as you said, that 1-1-4 build is going to be just as devastating. And it happens a little earlier because you don't have to wait for the Brood to get 6.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna be, and I mean, this Doom, he's not really a hero that has a lot of natural escape mechanisms. Of course, the Winter Wyvern can just fly over the trees once every 27 seconds, but even then, that's not the greatest of circumstances because they're gonna tag team comes off cooldown quicker than the Arctic Burn.
Yep. Well, at least Doom has 6 armor right now, which is like, I don't know where we went from the memes about he's literally unkillable, about Doom having 1 armor and him now having 6 with, you know, just a circlet and 2 branches.
I think Crucial brings that up every time there's a Doom in the game about how he's talking about the old days when Doom had no armor and now he's just walking around with 6 armor and he goes on this long tangent. I don't think he's a fan. He's not amused. Even though he's an offlaner, it doesn't make sense to me, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, it has to do with the fact that he was unplayable after they took the regen off of the Scorched Earth, right?
Right.
Because that would offset his lack of armor before. And now he doesn't have that anymore. Like, the only way to get him back into lane is to make him tankier versus harass. Of course, the fact that he just spawns with 800 health and 6 armor is... whatever, right?
That's neither here nor there, Kips. That's just
Exactly.
that's just, you know, we'll leave that to the Ice Frog. He's the master of the balance.
I heard he has returned. I have been told so by a podcast.
Oh, no shit. I guess that's officially leaking information to the Radacast that I have been holding close to the chest, but yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. You have the authorization to leak information. I have no such authorization, so that's how that splits up.
I mean, listen, Sind and Sons Fan will just say things like that's the name of their podcast. They will say things. So, you know, if you didn't listen to the podcast, I guess I get to be like the bringer of the news here. But I guess a lot of people didn't
to any
Ice Frog was
podcast.
gone.
No, and that's exactly that's the tidbit that I'm talking about here. As I don't. Yeah, I have not talked to anybody about that, and if you told me about that, I doubt anybody really knows. As that's kind of some inside info.
It was semis.
Oh, up top, tag team. This might be the first blood baptized. One more right click. There it is. And Afromoosh even adroitly stepping to his left to dodge out the Splinter Blast. LSA going to connect onto Jesus. Stepping back is Afromoosh. Now he's going to turn around, try to pump the pain right back into this Doombringer. Body blocking is the Tuskar. He has Ice Shards in just 1 second. This is going to be another kill.
Yep. And I want to point out here, for some reason I thought that Chromastic was going to be playing on the carry role because we're currently missing Double King over on the side of CW Esports, right? But instead it's Afromoosh taking up the Lina.
And he's just, they're getting 3 kills here. Back-to-back deaths on the Winter Wyvern. And that is a wonderful start. If you're a C-Dub fan, Timbits is jumping in a seat.
Hi, Timbits. Good to see you here.
Also, shout out to Games and Pizza. That dude watched us cast for like 4 hours last night, and he's already back here for some more Dotas. So, like, I fucking love that dude. As Boz, he's being aggressed upon. Biak and Sanctified. Sanctified with the body blocks, making sure this Marcy can't get away. She's already used the rebound, but, oh, that is a good little spirit, but it's not enough. The Remnant, it was able to lock down the Storm Spirit, but not onto the Hoodwinked. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they got yet another kill onto the Doom Kips.
Yep. Tag team, and Love is in the Fiery Soul coming in. Yeah. It's going to be really rough for them to return.
Yeah,
Another rotation from... I mean, I guess he took a rune out of the hands of the Storm Spirit, so he did have to take a little step back there, but at the same time, you didn't actually get any kills out of that rune. He's not pushed out of the lane on Bios at all. It feels like there's no place for the supports on the Radiant side to go right now.
Right now, going out and setting up some vision, maybe trying to set the table for later when they can maybe try to make a play. But Boz is going to be going through enemy vision. They'll be able to see him making his rotation back over while they're able to kill Mercurial's courier. Yikes.
Very unfortunate there. At least the Naga Siren's doing well versus the Broodmother here, who has no good way to clear these illusions at all. She's purely single target hero. But at the same time, Mercurial here, diving this tower is really not an option for him. So the Broodmother is just going to have to get his last hits over here. Which he is completely fine with. His time will come, and pretty soon as well. It's only about a half a level more until the spawn spiderlings come up.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, taking a quick look at the net worth, the first time of the game. No surprise that Afromoosh Lina is the top of the board, but that Broodmother is right behind at 3,000 net worth.
Yeah. At this time, like this mark, I actually like to tab quickly into the hero levels because 6 minutes means the level 6s for mid lane should be coming in. And there is a level 6 over on the Void Spirit right now, so he is a threat on any, if any of the side lanes pressure out too hard right now for the Dire, he can come in and save the day for the Radiant. And the Naga Siren has also hit 6. But there is quite a big gap for the Doom to bridge, unfortunately, who is not really on level 5 just yet.
Oh, Sanctified made the rotation up here to the top lane. There's the tag team. Oh, but the Cold Embrace trying to delay this damage out, at least through the tag team duration. Now with the rotation from Boz, we're coming in the Splinter Blast with the Snowball to dodge out, trying to delay this, going to come forward. He gets the stun.
Yep,
oh, but now we have
is.
Period here. The Void Spirit coming through, cleaning up a double kill, and I'm thinking he's going to be able to make it a triple. They're looking for Sanctified, hunting through the trees. He's getting up towards the triangle, but the creeps are chasing after him. Finally, he's able to shake them off his trail, and Sanctified should be able to escape. He plants a deep ward. He's going to TP back to the fountain.
And that is exactly the rotation a fresh level 6 on a Void Spirit wants. And it's like they set it up for him. Beautiful. And out of the Storm Spirit is going
Isla down here just chopping through Mercurial. This is about to be a solo kill, Kips.
Yeah. Sorry, should have been on that. Because level 6 for the Broodmother is GG for the Naga, nothing you can do. Unless you have skilled Song of the Siren, which you don't because that delays your farming. And you don't want to be on that bot lane anymore anyway. Because it's just one escape. And then what? Just get your other levels, move into the jungle. Hope you have somebody on your team who can stop the Spiderlings. Unfortunately, you do not. Unless you want to move your Void Spirit down there to delay the inevitable, which would be a very bad idea since he's your only rotating element right now. And you'd lock him down on the bot lane. So no, that bottom tower, it's gonna go down. Just a question of time.
And Mercurial, he's gonna come back. Sanctified is in the area, and they're initiating on him immediately. There's the Bushwhack, back-to-back deaths on the Naga.
I don't know why he did that.
They're trying to go in onto Afromoosh up here, but he's going to drop the Laguna, the LSA, but with Astro Step forward, going into the Dissimulate, he's going to make the connection, even saving the Doom's life with the Cold Embrace. And that is, I guess that's a play that makes up somewhat for the play that just happened down bottom.
That's a good reaction. I mean, they get the immediate info that there's 2 down bot, right? And presumably Sanctified teleported there as well, because he was previously up top. And I didn't see him cross under that Radiant Ward, so... You know there's 3 top at the most. Lina's out of position. You are going to get her even if you trade kills, but they don't even have to because she's all on her own.
Stupendous.
The difference though is that she's holding the tower for now. But she has to be careful.
The hunt for the Lina yet again with the Star Sense. They did connect on that scan, so they are aware of dire heroes in the area. Kombastic as well as Biak making the rotation over here. Snowball forward. We're going to go on to Yeezus with the Vortex, pulling him back. The LSA to follow it up, and another good Cold Embrace from Baptized, delaying it. That's going to be the Doom that gets to come out onto the Storm, but they get the deny. Afromoosh with the deny, but he cannot deny the death of the Tuskar, as now they're chasing throughout the woods, trying to step to the side.
Nice.
Oh no, the LSA is going to connect. They guessed correctly. And there with the Bushwhack secures the death of the Void Spirit. Afromoosh stepping forward almost like he wants Baptized as well, but that is going to be a tall ask to make the connection. He just falls back and decides to hit creeps instead.
Very nice jukes there from Baptized all the way at the start of the fight, not losing his cool when he knows the rotation is coming in, because him being behind the initiation there forced them to go on the tankier Doom. They would have wiped the floor with that Winter Wyvern and then gone on for more kills with like a fully collected front line, but instead he got that save off, and it took a lot longer for the dire heroes to bring anything down.
Remnant just barely misses onto Isla, though he was able to clean up all of the spiders and buy a little bit of space for this Naga Siren to hit some lane creeps. Naga sitting 4th on the net worth board so far as we have another rotation coming in onto Yeezus. Bushwhack into the Vortex, into the Sharpshooter, but again, another tasty cold embrace that's keeping this Doom alive and delaying the inevitable. And Biak lost so much health over the course of that, unleashing, and now there's a good Winter's Curse. This is going to be the death of the Tusk.
Tragic.
They're making a video
boy,
game of
so
this, Kips.
They are. I'm really enjoying how they are reacting on the Radiant by putting pressure on this top lane instead of going to def bot. Where, you know, this is Spider Country right now. You have nothing to do there. So instead, they just show a period on bot just a little bit, you know, like, hey, you can't just run rampant here. And then all of their actual attention is directed towards top, towards the lane where the Lina is eventually going to leave and where they can hopefully get this tower finally traded. A little bit scared though.
I believe that's the Orchid complete. Yeah, that's the Orchid flying out to the Broodmother.
Yikes.
And is that the point where is the Brood going to start going hunting? Or do you want to see the Spider just continuing to hang out down here in this bottom lane and woods area and just eating up the entire map over here?
Just eat it up unless you go for a shove onto the mid tower. This is a beautiful curve right here. It took a while for teams to start doing this. I was trying to teach Vega Squadron to take the bot tower and then move through the mid from the side like Isla's doing right now, like 4 years ago. It took them a bit to catch on, but now you see it in pretty much every Brood player who knows their stuff does it. Like, you just go to the mid tower from the side. Only works on Radiant, by the way. Dire Brood is better than... Dire Brood is better than Radiant Brood for this reason. Oh yeah, like, come at me. I have Orchid. You want to die?
Oh dear.
Is that what you want?
Doom going hunting in the woods. Able to find the Aframoosh Lina and bring her down. Doom was dropped
you
in
want to die?
And now there's a fight happening in the mid lane. Going in onto the Void Spirit, but he was able to dissimulate and break the distance. That's going to be a Cold Embrace, or a Winter's Curse rather, but this one is not going to be as effective as the one up top. There's no Lino just whapping into them. Coming in onto Baptize. Bushwhack's going to be there, but only connects onto one. The siege onto the T1 continues, but the Radiant heroes are still here, looking like they want to mount a defense. Is there an angle for this?
I don't think so. They already blew their entire teamfight load by getting that Winter's Curse down, so no, there is not.
Instead, we have a little bit of a 3K standoff as 3 heroes just watch as their mid-tier 1 tower goes down.
Yeah.
Instead of looking elsewhere on the map, trying to squeeze out efficiency and farm elsewhere. And they're still
to be
hunting.
fair,
Bushwhack,
already
it
got the
connects.
best possible
The
outcome.
Bushwhack connects.
Oh.
The silence is there onto the Void Spirit. Trying to angle it up. A good job from Boz to break that down and make sure that he tanks the damage of that Sharpshooter. Now, Boz is going to end up paying the Pied Viper, I do believe. Yes.
Yeah, the price for hanging around any further. What I was going to say is that they already got the most out of the situation by rolling in for that Lina kill in the woods. But between the Doom being down and then the ulti from Baptized, there's nothing you can do anymore when the Dire is that clumped. Now Seed Up can chill. I'm gonna smoke, see if they can save this top tower, maybe get themselves a Naga Siren kill in the process. And we are waiting for the Isla BKB now. And for, you know, whatever Aframoosh wants. He's nearly got his BKB. Not sure if he wants to already fight with that.
Hunting the Naga, they found her with the scan, but they went south while the Naga went north. Now they're eliminating the bases. They're trying to figure it out. Sanctified bumped into the Naga. Mercurial lurking in the trees, trying to stay safe. And I think maybe, just maybe, she's going to get away with it. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Isla just going to rip through Boz as the Brood needs food, Kips.
She's a hungry... She's got a lot of babies to fill. Like, I wanted to say kill. A lot of babies to feed.
I mean, sometimes the
You
brood
don't
does
feel-
kill a lot of its babies. I think Isla has done a good job so far. I don't believe Child Protective Services will be coming after the Isla brood mother, but I have seen many a game where CPS would be there in a heartbeat.
It's a woman though. They're never gonna take the kids away.
True that. Looking at Aframoosh, I believe, is that the BKB complete? His courier's flying out. Yeah, that's BKB complete. And now he's going to go for the travels next. So this Lina could be looking to start to be more active. That's a hero that we've not talked about since the laning phase. She's just been farming in the woods where it's safe. And this Lina, the top of the net worth.
Oh, he's having such a grand old time on Aframoosh. He really, like... Especially when you're used to playing POS 4, right? Or POS 4 Lina. This is such a luxury experience. Like, sure, he got caught out once or twice, or maybe a more experienced carry player wouldn't, but that's alright. He's got his farm up, and now he's got all of his luxury items, and any POS 4 worth their salt knows how to scale. Like, POS 5s, I can forgive you if you're, like, ultra farmed and you don't know what to do with all that money, right? But POS 4, this is what you're waiting for.
This is his moment in the sun. And so far, Aframoosh, he's making a good showing of himself here. As this is a two-man smoke, looking to maybe try to connect and get another little pick-off kill. These two Bash brothers roaming around, but just playing in a nice little pod where it's safe, and playing under vision may be the most important thing here. The Radiant heroes just lingering up in this top area, but the smoke is going to come through. However, the smoke fades. So they will be able to see it, and immediately realizing that they had vision, they're going to drop the sentry and get rid of that obs ward.
Immediately walking out under another ward, though. I don't think there will be any catches here today. Unless Jesus says, well, I have a Doom at already. We have all of the vision. They don't know we can see them.
Oh, the rebound misses. The rebound's a whiff. The bushwhack's there. Oh, that's going to be the winter's curse, but it does not matter. It doesn't connect with the other heroes here. Now zipping around is Biok. Cold Embrace there, trying to keep the Doom alive. They're going to be coming back forward with this next round of spells. We have but he's dancing around the Doom. That's what Biok is trying to do. He's trying to walk between the raindrops here. Now Mercurio's come around as well as the Void Spirit. They delayed long enough. They're going to be able to trade this in even one-for-one trade. But meanwhile, Isla on the Brood is knocking on the doorstep.
What an ideal game. And he's got the BKB flying in now as well, I believe. Is any split pusher streams like, oh, my team is just keeping him busy? Yeah, there's the BKB. All three cores are suddenly on this bottom lane. Bass is going to have to watch out. Just plops a word up on the high ground. Also, I'm gonna do something very nasty here, but the Storm Spirit's name is Bios, and this is he's spelled it in Greek, and the Greek letter S looks different if you put it on the end of the word.
I see. So it's Bios and not Biok.
Yes.
Okay. That's not nasty. That's just correcting. How are you ever gonna know that you're doing something wrong unless somebody tells you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, some people really are like, just let me do it, and then I'll, tell me in between instead of correcting me on camera. Oh, the leader.
Oh, we have a fight. No, with the BKB, she's able to dodge around. That's going to be the LSA connecting. Oh, but there's going to be the Winter's Curse. But the Winter's Curse is onto the Lina. It's not onto Sanctified, so no damage coming through. There's the Dragon Slave to clean up the Cold Embrace Winter Wyvern. All in all, it's going to be a 3-for-0 trade. And this Brood, the Spider, the Dark Widow, is just lingering in your house, and this is not what you want. The Void Spirit, she's got to come through, but immediately gets silenced up. The Acorn Shot, but the Bushwhack, it did not connect for some weird reason, but with a long-range zip, Bios making the connection, and Mark is unstoppable.
Yikes. I mean, you shot your shot. You nearly got the Lina. If you get her down there, like, unfortunately, it seems like you're already too far behind, because the Lina was stunned for most of that fight, and they still lost. Sure, you might get like a Tusk kill out of that if you click the Winter's Curse right, but that alone is not going to save the fight for you.
Let's take a look at the Ice Frog Index. A pretty solid 89% chance for the C-Dub to win. And I honestly, it just the pace of the game, the way that it feels like it's much more significant than even that.
Yeah, like the thing is that you just have no playmaking potential over on the Radiant apart from this Void Spirit, and that's a lot of pressure to put onto a single hero with. I don't want to say that he has like a limited damage output because his burst potential is insanely high, right? But you do have only one cycle. It is one shot, one kill. And if you can't do that anymore, if you drop all your spells with the Void Spirit and nobody dies, you're sawed out of luck and your game is basically over. And that is the territory where Period finds himself right now.
Maybe looking up for a smoke play of their own. This is going to be a 5-man smoke. Meanwhile, a lot of the C-Dub Empire are smoked up and in the Radiant Woods themselves. It looks like they're trying to draw a beeline going up towards this Lina. Oh, they know where she just boots have traveled. But the Naga Siren illusions making things a little bit awkward.
Oh, she gets spooked. Link Dagger Tusk.
Meanwhile, the rat continues. The whole bottom lane of barracks is gone, chewing through the effigies as well, making sure these creeps are just going to come right down and start dealing unhealable damage to these tier 4 towers. They know the Doom TP'd back. They might be looking for a power play play here to happen with the short-handed Radiant team. God, you can feel the tension. It feels like this game is really, it's resting on the next couple of fights.
It is. I mean, any more missteps from the Radiant and you lose your base. It's just that easy. At the very least, you need to bring this Lina down during the fights because the Broodmother doesn't push that hard. But at the same time, like, if you don't have enough defenders left, she's still a problem because with that Orchid, she can get any of you one-on-one. There's nobody who can stand against the Brood one-on-one, not since she hit level 6. That's why the rat works so well, because you always need to bring two.
They're going to find Mercurio. That's going to be the ensnare early in the dissimulate, but a good snowball save. The snowball save from Combastic, making it so Bios can get himself away, and they're even going to be able to bring down Mercurio with the power shot. They found out the Winter Wyvern as well. No, but it's a good ice shards, but he had already unleashed on Boz, so it's going to take a committee to bring down this unleashed Dora the Explorer. It's a 3-for-0 trade, Kips.
Yeah, the Dora the Explorer maybe, but that was not very child-friendly. And both the Naga as well as the Winter Wyvern, both of the heroes with the teamfight resets going down without popping those spells, that's painful. They have so much chain stun at the ready over on the Dire side that you don't even get to save Mercurial there when you have 2 huge AoE saves. That's smarts. Alina going in for the Lincoln Sphere. She's basically untouchable after that comes in. And she's very close to making that big purchase already. Of course, you can also toss it over on the Storm, because his is going to come in just a little bit later. But after that, both of them are basically untouchable. Like, what you want to do is Yules normally on the Void Spirit to get yourself into the guaranteed Aether Remnant, right? Guaranteed Chain Lockdown.
Sure.
But that's now you're going to be using your Yules in order to pop the Lincoln so that you can maybe get a Doom on them. You're gonna have to use Ensnare for that. You're gonna have to use Winter Curse for that. It's all a bit yikes.
It feels a bit yikes indeed. Is this game? It was so promising for a while, but they just kind of opened up the can of worms here. As that's going to be the Cold Embrace with the initiation coming in onto the root. We have the unleashed attacks coming through BKB from Isla. Meanwhile, onto the backside goes Bios, able to bring down the Tusk actually, and now Bios is a little bit isolated here. A hoof stomp from the stolen Centaur creep, and that's going to be the Aegis of the Immortal pop. Sanctified starting to make the rotation over Isla. You can see him lurking at the top left of your screen. We're trying to make a play here. Avramu's going to blink himself in. LSA, the ball flip forward. The Vortex onto the Naga. That they bring down the Naga. And now the silence onto the Void Spirit. It's all the cup has runneth over, it seems. He is going to, oh no, they connect with the LSA after the Yules. The support Linas, they like that Yules into LSA combo. So that Aframoosh was right in his wheelhouse to set that play up.
Absolutely, and you can see how comfortable Aframoosh feels here in his damage output by the fact that he saved that Laguna Blade. Like, you'd think that, okay, maybe that Naga Siren gets out. He's like, nah, fam, we don't need that. Enemy carry, burst, He did burn the Aegis there, but that's for a good cause because the Linken's is going to come out now on both of these heroes.
Oh no. They have found the Doom. Long ball lightning forward, but he timed that well with the stomp. But it does not matter. The damage is too significant. He's surrounded on all sides. And it's Sanctified, who finally picks up the kill. But meanwhile, they're going in onto Aframoosh, or is Aframoosh going in onto them? He drops the Laguna, takes down the Void Spirit to nearly half HP, throwing the BKB immediately with the Winter's Curse to counter it. But here comes the Friends. They're coming from the bottom right-hand side of your screen. They've already taken down one. Coming forward, the Song of the Siren coming out from Mercurial. Ooh, he barely gets, no! He got the right click off. Bios is able to get the kill onto Period, and now Mercurial, the song ends, and the fat lady might begin singing herself.
Yeah, that's a game ender kind of scenario where you spend everything on Adelina, you don't even get her, and you get cleaned up as a reward. They're gonna hold up in here though. Like, I guess you have a decently good outpush between the Winter Wyvern and the Naga Siren. Like, you can afford to try and take an extra fight, see if they maybe want to, you know, mess up. Maybe you're just playing it out because you're playing it out, right? It's a good habit to have.
Sure. You never know when that magic moment is going to happen.
Well, it's a magic moment on the Doom right there.
Chinese BKB moment. As we're going to go in onto the Isla, but Isla immediately counters with a BKB of his own, takes down the tier 3 tower, and now they're going to back up just a little bit to some more safe areas. Meanwhile, Aframoosh, he's just going to walk right on up, try to connect with an LSA, not able to connect onto anybody. Fiery Soul Sax now coming forward. Aframoosh able to pop something. Oh, but the Doom actually does come out. They set the play up. Bios making the counter initiation.
Oh,
the Scepter is there. Into the Aether Remnant, into the Dissimulate. The Snowball save! The Snowball save, Kips! The Snowball save, but it only lasts for so long. As that is going to be the death of Aframoosh. We see the Unleash. He's just manning up on the mid laner is Dora the Explorer. And this is the magic moment that they were waiting for. They're going to turn this around with a total team wipe.
Isla 1 versus 4 still gobbles up the Doom. It's some incredible stuff, Insatiable Hunger. But yeah, that was the misplay. I was wondering why. Like, I understand that you go up on Aframoosh, right? Because you have your BKB, you have your Lincoln Square, you have your entire kit. But Isla didn't back off for nothing. He didn't have a BKB, he didn't want none of it. He was just like, all right, let's farm while my BKB comes back up. And Aframoosh says no, and that makes it a split decision. And that means that the Radiant get to fully capitalize on the split in decisions there from the enemy team, and you get your death fight. Well weighted up. That's indeed why you play on.
Play on, play on.
Yeah.
As I don't have the time to mess around and put both webcams up right now, so you guys just lose all of your webcams. How about that?
And you're allowed to have yours up. It's your stream.
Oh, no, I don't understand why people would want to look at somebody while they're shouting at a team fight and shit like that anyways, man. I'm sure I'm not making pretty faces when I'm in the middle of casting.
But that's the point. The point is that they're not pretty. The point is that you're in the moment enough to not be pretty. That is what appeals to people.
This will hasten my footfalls.
I suppose if people want to stare at my crazy eyes, I'll put it back on for game number 2. But focusing on the task at hand, where does this leave C-Dub? What are the avenues that they need to take here? Or is that just a little bit of pyrite? Is that a little bit of fool's gold?
It's a hiccup. It's a hiccup. It's a bump in the road. And they try to do it properly now. I bet Isla's like, hey, Afro, let's just do it right this time. So they smoke up. They have the double Lincolns. This, you know, you gotta measure a mess up like that in terms of like, did you lose anything on the map? Did the enemy get any key items that they didn't have before? There's a blink on that Doom now. There's a heart on that Naga Siren that might pose some difficulties. But with the positioning that they have around the Dire right now, this is so hard to walk it into. And Mercurial pops his smoke. That was close.
Oh, Void Spirit, he's coming in, trying
on
to
his
pop
own.
somebody. Aether Step almost did it. That's going to be the dupe. Onto the Isla Broodmother, but meanwhile, onto the backlines. We are popping some damage into it. That's two supports that have dropped. And that's going to be the Storm as well, just surrounded by the Naga Siren. He got Naga'd. Aframuch, he needs to get himself out of dodge. The LSA, he's going to drop the Laguna. Just trying to let him know that he can do a turnaround with the Orchid. God damn, look at how quickly he's pumping damage through that Wyvern. He had to back away with the Glimmer Cape. Trying to set up onto Aframuch now. There's the Yules, and this should be a dead Lena for sure.
Yeah.
Down to a 9k lead, Kips.
Now it's more than a hiccup. That's 2 fights lost in a row. You're probably going to lose your bottom tower off of this as well. You should go for mid, actually, if you're Radiant. Like, you should storm up, take that mid tower. It takes a lot of pressure off of your map immediately. Roche has just respawned. It removes a very important avenue for the Dire to get to Roche. If you do that right now, then you actually capitalize on this big gold shift, this big time shift that you got. But I guess farming's good enough, especially with this confidence boost. You got the Axe on your Void Spirit, which is that big damage boost that we saw coming in.
No, maybe an elaborate bait as they're looking to bring down the Storm Spirit, but he has more friends in the area, so he's able to make that play onto the Doom, bring down the Void Spirit. They're going to bring down 4 here. And that opens the avenue for Roshan.
Yeah, that Storm Spirit came teleported into mid. That's one of those things. Maybe if the tower's down, you can be there. Since the tower's not there, you cannot be there. Since the tower's still there, excuse me.
That's going to be Aegis on the Storm. It looks like they're giving the Shard to the Tusk. At least he's going to be the backpack carrier for a while here.
Tusk Shard is funky, but not sure if it's worth it. I actually liked the Ice Glyph more because it gave vision to a hero with initiation, which is always much like being a Beastmaster. It feels very good to have the vision and the initiation on the same hero.
Yeah, I miss the old days of Tusk when you had the Frost Sigil. I mean, I do like Tag Team, don't get me wrong. It adds another...
Oh, Tag Team's great.
It's a great spell. But just having the Frost Sigil, being able to use that to like scout out things like Roshan, scout out things like the high ground, like it really was the utility of it was quite good.
Yeah. I mean, you can D-ward with a Shard sorta, right? But it's just not the same.
Right.
Like
and
this.
now there's a bunch
It just
of hats
feels
that
awkward.
people have for Frost Sigil, and it literally doesn't exist anymore, Kips. Those hats are just sitting, accumulating dust. Those poor hats.
I have a Vici sigil. Big Vici fan here. Never gonna get to see it anymore. That said, they can never remove ice shards because of this penguin.
That penguin is cute. Oh, we have the silence. We're in the ensnare onto the storm.
Yep.
That is going to be the Aegis pop combasting. He's going to delay things with the snowball material. Knows about it. Oh, that's going to be the Winter's Curse out.
Nice
but it's only the Storm Spirit that's pumping the damage.
Don't have the Lena in the middle, though.
Set on all sides. Aframuch in the middle lane. He's down to the bottom right hand corner of your screen. He's going to blink into the middle
just
now.
blinked it.
And that's a buyback on the Storm Spirit. Buyback on combasting. They feel like this could be the pivotal fight. Song of the Siren's going to come out, and we have buybacks galore. We're going to switch over to the buyback status because that's about the only damn thing that matters anymore.
Oh, they've got
the
bombs.
They've got material here as well. And that's going to be no buyback on the Naga Siren Snowball now going to come through onto the Winter Wyvern. Kips is calling it, saying GG, but the Storm Spirit, he still has some fight left in this dog. He's going to try to bring down Bios, and he does. That's no Storm Spirit, no Combastic, trying to cut the creep wave, but they're going to fortify. Oh no, they got a bash. They got a bash. That's a high-skilled bash. A lesser player would not have gotten it, Kips.
Yeah. I mean, he's left for MVP, right?
completely controlled his bottom lane, made it so that the Naga, and I mean, look at the effect that the Naga was able to have on this game. Imagine if she had a lane.
Yep. Absolutely. She was quite the nuisance. But so was this brute. It's just going into the fountain.
Just fountain
Hey,
diving.
high skill bash.
This dude, he's so good. I've not seen a single player that's this good at bashes in my life.
I have seen some things in my time, but this was a pretty. This does put you up there.
And what a fun little game. And honestly, maybe a little surprisingly competitive, considering that this is a DPC team versus a new banner team. So like that was very exciting, very cool to see. And yeah, man. But now we gotta move on to the next.
We do indeed. We only get one game with each of these matchups, so we do get to see C-Dub immediately again, but Chandogs get to take a breather and reset, see what Silk makes of this NADPC team, and we are going to be watching the same.
Okay. Let's see here. Because we do already have Sanctified in the lobby. Players are going to start trickling in here. Need to switch over to the broadcast channel. But, yeah, while I do a little bit of scene correction here, I'm going to go ahead and cut to a quick break, mute myself and stuff like that so that I can set up the webcams and all that jazz.
Yeah, fun game to warm up to.
Okay.
stumbling over my words a bit more than I'd want to.
Yeah, well, as you said, Kips, this is a little bit of a warm-up game and, getting you
Mhm.
ready for the DPC season and all that jazz. Just so you know, the mics are hot. We are back live. So don't
Mhm.
profess your love for Suns fan or something like that if you don't want Herbert to know about it.
Mm, um, Shannon is nice, but like clearly Saj is the one to get out of that couple. If you're going to be trying to break those up, that's the one I do it for.
Oh, I wonder. Dude, I forgot to ticket the lobby.
Ah,
So
unfortunate. Now
yeah,
Knoxville's going to be mad at you.
not Knoxville.
Careful, careful.
No, I'm serious. I don't want Knoxville to be mad at me. He seems like a
Mm,
sweet fella.
he is. He is. He's a stickler for certain things. But as long as you do those things right, he is a-okay with anything. I gotta say, I'm looking at our own game on this stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I should have really talked about Bios's decision to not go BKB. I saw it and I was like, he could get away with it this game, but he got punished so hard. Like this game could have been over way sooner if he didn't just zip into the Naga, get rooted into silenced immediately.
Yeah. I tell you, for a second there, I honestly, genuinely thought that they threw the game. I thought that we were watching
Oh,
3-2-2 happen before our very eyes.
nah. That's not necessarily because of the gold lead, but as long as you can keep Lina out of the reach of the Winter Wyvern specifically, like your damage output is just so high on the dire side. I don't really see how the Radiant stands in fights. Like you have to get a very careful in-out in-game. You have to wait out the BKBs with your Void Spirit. Like you assassinate the support. You use Naga Siren ult to back off. Then you go back in again after. No, but then the BKBs are still up. I don't know. And good news for all the viewers as well. We're going to have a double king in the lobby now. So
Oh,
full
snap.
lineup for CW Esports. And Aframoosh, I the Aframoosh Rubik, perhaps, or Aframoosh Tiny. It's like choosing between brownies and creme brulee. Like ideally, you wanted both. You can only have one.
There can only be one. Do you ever have hero chat like their like lines run through your head just randomly?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like randomly all the time, dude. I'll just get Darkseer's. Your skull's roundness offends me. Like it just never makes any sense because there's nothing that references that.
Oh.
Nothing to make it pop into your head. Like, maybe like balance in all things. Like that one makes kind of
Mm.
sense. But like Jesus, man, like.
No, I mean, usually when they're appropriate, right? So I go, I'm not greedy. A lot. When I'm definitely being greedy.
I do get the Beastmaster when he picks up the bounty, the bada. I get that
That
running
is
through my
the
head whenever I like do
best
something
sound
good.
in the game. I need to go back into the Dota 2 files and set that as like my SMS notification.
That really might be one of the best lines
It's
in
the
the game.
This is the best single sound in the game. Like some people say the tower meat merp, but yeah, I'm very, very partial to that Beastmaster sound.
The lobby is not found, then the game should be over, damn it. If you guys want to check out the game, it is on Chriso
Oh,
TV. I will type it into the chat. Maybe somebody can go and check that out and then come back to us with some inside information on how long the delay is going to be for this game. It should be very soon, and as soon as the guys are in the lobby, we're gonna run it. Where the fuck? Where was the notification at here? Don't you hate when you get so many random notifications on Discord that you literally cannot find where?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I have pretty much everything and everybody muted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I need to start acting like I'm a bigwig like you guys and just put myself on do not disturb.
Yeah, I mean, at some point it's just too much work to take it off and on again. It's like, because every time I forget, I'll be in a cast or I'll be like in a call with somebody and then the notification starts popping up and I'll look at it in my time.
Sure.
Don't need to know. I tab into Discord like 20 times a day. I'll see it in my time.
So I did get communication from the Silk Captain. So hopefully the boys will be joining the lobby here just about any time. Yeah, we're starting to see the first ones of them trickle in here. So we will have a game on us very, very soon. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee, Kips. So fill dead air.
That's as the bluntest I've ever been thrown to fill command, but yeah, I could work with that. Nice and direct. Saves a lot of time. You know, usually us casters do that in like the somewhere off screen in the Discord. When we talk about, right, hey, I'm gonna need to do X or Y. Can you fill for like 5 minutes? Okay, thanks. Love ya. You know, the whole shebang. Yeah. Rada's built different. He's just like, bye, fill, please. Sure, I can fill. I can fill forever if I have to. The only problem is that he left me to fill when I don't actually have the Dota buffs open for the next cast yet. So now I need to do that while also talking, which is kind of embarrassing. Because obviously, just in case you thought that any of like the people, like all the there's a reason they have those iPads up on the desk when you watch the DPC. Like these stats, they're not just, memorizing all of them. Even like the hero stats, some of the counters, some of the team things, like they have either their own documents or like Dota buff open. Like a Dota buff runs half of this scene, and Wikipedia runs the other half, I swear. But yeah, that's how do you say that in English? That's how the is made. Cheese?
The sausage gets made?
The sausage, yes. That's how the sausage gets made. Thank you.
Because it's not appealing to watch a sausage get made.
No, it's not. And like watching my monitor and seeing how many tabs I have open right now is pretty disappointing. You'd think that I know all of these things by heart. Nah, none of us do.
I still remember the stream. I think it was a big tournament where Blitz confessed to the fact that he just had a picture of all the heroes in Dota. And so during drafts and stuff like that, he would just have his phone on under the desk and he was just like looking at these pictures, and that's how he was able to make such good like drafting suggestions and stuff like that on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. During draft, I often like go out of the draft tab back and forth between just like the heroes tab in Dota 2 to quickly leave through. You press back, you're back in the game. Did they do anything yet? Nope. Well, just browse in. Well, what's that under the carry tab anyway, you know? Dota 2 is too big for it to hold it all in your mind at once.
It really is. That's just simply way too many heroes, way too many independent variables, and especially, I mean, when you start talking to somebody like you or somebody else that's in these, 10K metas, you hear just how deep the thought goes when it comes to thinking about these drafts and things of that nature.
Yeah, you should imagine it as a really big spider web, and like sometimes you just can't get to like the start of a thread. Like you're looking for something and it turns out that it was Ursa or something. But like as soon as you have Ursa, all of your associations start firing off. Like you know his laning stage, you know his itemization, you know his timings. You go for like the Shard Roche thing, the fact that he needs a BKB. You know, he's a great niche counter to certain mid matchups. You know, if you really want to make an Ember Spirit cry, you can put Ursa in the mid lane, that sort of thing. But that's not in my head until the Ursa comes up. Before that, it's in the abyss. Might as well not exist.
I reckon I should switch it back over to the draft screen as we are getting ready to launch here into this game number 2 of the day. And boy, am I excited to see it play out. It's going to be Silk versus C-Dub Esports. C-Dub hoping to start off the day with a clean 2-0. C-Dub yet again will have first pick. We'll see if they'll just dip right back into that familiar cup and take the Lina first phase.
Radiance ban.
Would say that it would really just be Silk's bad if they let that happen. Like you can't give Lina first phase unless you have a plan against it. I do think that Winter Wyvern, for example, you could see the effectiveness of that versus like the Lina and the Broodmother 2 cores, and I think if you have somebody to stand properly at the core of your team fight, maybe you can get one to kill the other pretty reliably. That didn't work out, but you need to have plans like that in place, and ideally you need to have a little bit of a stronger one than just your +5 support, you know? I guess it was +4 this time, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
So
Silk won their game in 20 minutes. 30-11.
Only 10 seconds.
impressive. Well, to be fair, like you know, one of the informal ways that I rate teams is by their nicknames. If you see people that just use their regular name, those are the psychos. Those are dangerous. We have Mark versus James here. Like this is some
This
this
some
is a knife fight in
biblical
a phone
level
booth,
shit.
guys.
Radiant team are now picking. Dire team are now
Like, can you imagine how few fucks you have to give in order to just, you know, what's my online name? I could take the coolest thing I want. I can be XX Sephiroth 96 for 20, you know? No, I am Mark. They were born different.
Mark.
All right. Burst magic, gap close.
Centaur.
That's an anti-Lina plan.
I love Centaur.
What do you love about Centaur?
So I honestly, I think this hero is just so fucking good. Like, I think he checks all the boxes of what you want from, like, your textbook run-of-the-mill offlaner, right? He
Yep.
has gap close. He has initiation. He has counter initiation. He has tank ability. He is an aura carrier. Like, he can suicide lane if he absolutely has to. Like, he just checks all of the boxes when you're talking about fundamental offlaners. Centaur is literally the picture that comes to mind.
Yep. Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Like, if you say offlane, like, Centaur is sort of the face of the company, right? Offlane Inc.
Right.
Only
Yeah.
10 seconds.
I mean, that's that. I mean, the only other person that even somewhat counters that, I feel
5
like, is the
seconds.
watermelon,
Hurry, hurry.
right? But I mean, I feel like he's one of those iconic figures. He's been a part of so many big moments
Yeah.
Dire
that he
ban.
just kind of naturally gets looped in.
He does. I mean, like, for me, of course, like, my favorite offlaner is Beastmaster, but he's a multi-tool. He's less specialized for the offlane than a Centaur War Runner is.
You know, I'm
10
sure it also
seconds to
helps
pick.
that I have, like, Centaur is my most played hero in Dota 2,
5
and I also
Mhm.
have like a 60-70% win rate on the hero, whereas all of my other most
see.
played heroes are like 30-40% win rate. So it's like, maybe this is why I have such a soft
Yep.
spot for the Centaur War Runner.
Yeah, and he is in a pretty nice place right now. Like, the proper tanky initiator has a good spot right now with all of, like, the sort of long range carries being played right now. Sniper's big, Drow's big, Lina's big. Then you got like Faceless Void and Naga Siren, I guess. Like I get both of those can also really use a primary initiator
Right.
because neither of them are going to do any of that. CK or his ilk are not really in.
10 seconds to pick.
So yeah, I do agree that this is a nice moment for Centaur. You can build some auras, you can build a blink, and you can tank everything that gets thrown at you, which in this case is going to be quite a lot because this Lina is going to do her turret stuff, and this time it's going to be double king. I do imagine that there's going to be a significant quality difference. Sorry, Aframush, but you don't have the positioning of a carry
Sure.
between these two.
He got his victory. I don't think that he's gonna be chatting too much poop.
Nah.
So I'm sure
was
he'll be
serviceable.
happy with his performance there, and he'll take any knocks and count them as fair. So one thing that's interesting to me, they have left the Drow Ranger in the lineup so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be banned out here in this second phase. Are you comfortable with the Lina Tiny to let a Drow through, or would you like to see them shore something up?
Dire team pick.
I think you're cool with letting the Drow through. Like your Lina is going to outrange her, and for the largest part of the game, out DPS her as well. That said, you might get forced into defending this Lina a little bit more than you want, which would leave you with very little options to. Because Centaur Hoodwink is a pretty big threat to a Lina, right?
Hurry,
Like,
hurry.
you will get on top of her, and if she doesn't have a BKB, she's dead as a doornail to this. And even if she does, the Centaur can tank quite a lot of Lina damage before anything happens, and that's all time for the Drow. So who knows? Maybe that's a pick. But if the Lina stays ahead of the damage curve, yeah, multiple initiations now. Good way to split up the fight. I'm imagining that Aframu is going to find it very hard to say no to a Rubik pick here. But we got Tusk first. Okay. I guess he's on the Tiny already. It's because the Rubik shard is so good versus the cogs. It's like, oh, you got hooked? No problem, bro. Let me put you down somewhere else. Are we going snowball save?
I mean, the snowball saves were there in game number 1, so you can't contest it. Of course, a couple of those snowball saves just so happened to be when there was a doom on the hero. So I mean, did it really save anything? Because like they died like in the second or two right after. But that's just Dota 2 sometimes. It's a cruel mistress.
Yeah, at least you get like a cozy moment together. Like, I tried.
Right.
I know.
You do. You get that moment of confirmation where it's like, okay, this dude has my back. Like, this is an unsavable situation, so like I understand. So like I ain't even mad at you for this, but like you tried, and that shows me that next time it might be a savable situation, and you are gonna be there, and you are gonna have my back. And somebody's been watching Collapse because the Magnus is out on the field of play.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of Magnus in China as well. Like with the overall more greedy nature of the side lanes right now, like Mag feels really nice to play, and especially with this lineup here, like the amount of AoE stuns that you have available to you, the fact that you've got that tag team for grouping all of these heroes together in one bundle, Tiny with the cleave. This might still be a mid Tiny, honestly, which means that we still have a support pick to go. But either would work. It's starting to look like a nice Timbersaw game, though.
Decisions to be made. But first up, Silk is going to have to figure out what they're going to do with this 18 pick here. In the 18 pick, I mean, that is, in my opinion, I think the 18 pick is the second most powerful pick in the Dota 2 drafting phase. Because you get a chance to get a gotcha pick, so to speak, before the next wave of bans come out.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, for me, the fifth pick of the draft is like a really big turning point.
The fifth is the best. Or no, I'm sorry. So I think the 8 pick, at least in my tiers, right? When up in the 10K meta, having that first pick, that might be that really is the creme de la creme. But I think the 8 pick is the strongest pick in Dota 2, 18 being number 2.
Okay, no, I don't mean like 5 on the So the position where the clockwork was right now. For me, that's where the draft really turns, because that's where you're going to see what the bare bones of a lineup looks like what they're going to be throwing at you, and whether or not they put something there that you need to react to with those next 2 picks or not.
So you
If you
fancy
get to
the
have a plan at
15
all.
pick?
Yes, I fancy the 15 pick. And then, of course, good old last pick.
See, and again, that's
15,
where
15 pick.
my shit's biased based off of the leagues that I watch. TDL being the highest quality that I cast at this current moment. It's that they get too cute with the 24 pick. They always try to go for some sort of gotcha, some sort of switch. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, guys, I've got a great idea. Let's just go ahead and put the clockwork mid, and then we'll draft freaking Monkey King or some, you know what I'm saying? Just something ridiculous, and it almost always fails.
Interesting here, by the way, that Silk was banning out several Double King heroes in their second phase, so they don't actually believe that he's going to play Delina, which I think is incorrect. He will. And now that they have that Faceless Void, the question is if C-Dub wants to do anything to save this Lina. I mean, there's some classic backline heals that you could try. You could also just hope that you have enough reach on that RP, enough delay, maybe a Tusk Snowball if she gets caught on the edge sometimes. Or if you want to, I don't know, pick OD. That's not really a serious answer, but, you know, it would be funny.
It would be a good time. And we are Team Chaos here on the Radacast. Give me chaos, give me game 3s, put me through my paces, and maybe it wasn't so silly after all.
I mean, to be fair, there's a bunch of heroes who really like their initiations, do not like any heroes getting saved, and are very vulnerable to the mana pool difference.
Sure. Very mana dependent heroes here, and and by that I mean their mana pools aren't very large. So they have it for about a round of spells and an ultimate, maybe 2 rounds of spells and an ultimate, and then things start to get a little awkward.
All right, so hear me out here. C-Dub's gonna pick a Crystal Maiden last, and then this Tiny Tusk Magnus are gonna play so fast.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that. I will clown you so hard if this isn't a Crystal Maiden pick.
As you should. Okay, how about your call? What's Silk gonna pick last?
What is Silk going to pick last?
Yeah.
10 seconds to pick.
Dude, I don't freaking know. This is a hard one, man.
5 seconds remain.
Because there's not... man. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna say like freaking Storm Spirit or something, because like I don't really see necessarily a great option here.
I mean, Storm Spirit Void is a timeless classic, right? That's not a bad answer as far as that goes. In general, I think like Burst Magic is the answer here. So really depends on what they want to do. Like, you could still rock that Leshrac. Oh, Skywrath Mage. Well, that's one of the candidates actually, but you know, not played mid that often.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
You see, so that's what I was thinking about. It's like, well, like, Quap, but they have good, like, they can lock down the Quap. They can chain lock the Quap.
Also, Quap's ass right now.
Quap,
yeah. Not a hero.
Good Quap players can still do it, though. You know what I'm saying? I've not scouted these teams. I don't know what they have in their tool bags. So, like... And maybe they don't know what they have in their tool bags.
It takes a lot of confidence. Yeah, there's the Zeus.
And what do you think about this Zeus pick into 3 strength heroes?
I mean, the thing is that they have a lot of initiation, and if they're on you, you're a goner, and this is going to start in the laning phase. But if you get to live like these two teams have roughly the same problem to solve, right? The enemy damage dealer is all the way on the other side of the screen. How do you get there? And as a full lineup, Silk does slightly better at that because they have the center and they can all just like, if you know where Delina is, you can just dogpile her.
Sure.
To be fair, C-Dub can do that with most of them as well. You got the Afromoose Skywrath Mage, is like a sort of an ace in the hole. Clockwork, not safe in his own cogs this game at all. I think it's a good answer. It's the kind of thing that this lineup needed, but it leaves them pretty short on, like, if you don't snowball with this lineup again, you're creating opportunities mostly with your Clockwork, maybe with your Hoodwink, maybe with the Chronos sometimes, but you don't have a dedicated, like, let's say, duo that you can run around the map with and you'll always get a kill. And C-Dub can pair any of the middle three with any of the outer two, and you have a kill.
3 wins in a row is Tiny. Feeling himself a little bit. Coming into the game versus 15-5 on the last 20 matches on the hoodie. So we got some players who are comfortable on their heroes, and an early quick pause here in game number 1. But I guess that gives us the perfect time to go into the hero introductions for this game number 1 of this best of 1 of C-Dub versus Silk. The Radiant side of the map will be manned up. Oh, let me switch to the live screen. Let's get out of the draft. Let's let you guys see some things that are going on here, eh? Alrighty, so C-Dub will be on the Radiant side of the map. Sanctified will be on the Tusk. Afro-Moosh will be on the Skywrath Mage. It will be Mark on the Tiny Double King, on the Lina, and Isla on the Magnus. Meanwhile, the Dire side of the map manned up by Silk. It will be Euphoria on the Faceless Void, Austin on the Clockwork, James on the Zeus, Rhaegor on the Hoodwink, and last but certainly not least is Darling on the Centaur War Runner. Kips, in a vacuum, which draft do you prefer?
Definitely C-Dub again, but not by as large of a margin as the last time around. There's some definite weak spots in his lineup, some definite openings that you can get, some heroes that need to get the ball rolling. It's hard to not make ball, avalanche, snowball jokes with the Tusk, but that is kind of what needs to happen though. He needs to keep going. Magnus, for example, if you shut a mag out of lane, a lot of people think that, if you want to shut down, a mag +1 lineup, you keep the carry down. And so that's not what it is. Like, you just hate on the Magnus. Because Magnus really needs farm on his own in order to be effective in a game at all. And his laning isn't actually that strong. So if this Magnus gets hated on in the lane enough, then he's not going to come to back up the rest of the lineup. And it's going to come down to Mark on this Tiny here. That said, though, I think the thing that I said in the draft still applies. Like, any of the 3 melee heroes plus any of the range heroes, 1+1 is a kill until 20 minutes.
They definitely do have that pick off potential here. Is this would you feel safe to define this as a draft between pick off lineups and team fight lineup?
Video games. 30 seconds.
It's interesting because both of them bring a fair amount of team fight. Of course, the Dire side does so a little bit more. Faceless Void, the Centaur. But yeah, you could characterize it like that if you wanted to. I'm just looking at this. This is like one hell of a raindrop game. Everybody should buy raindrops on both sides, just all of them.
You get a raindrop. You get a raindrop.
Yeah.
Fleeting and fragile nature of life begin.
And Darling
was able to steal the bounty room, but I think he's about to pay for it with his life. Mark tossing the tree, picking up the first blood.
Yours than mine.
Are you okay?
Yep, and immediately getting that power of the tag team again. I have even seen mid Tusks go for multiple points in tag teams if they have really nice lanes to gank into. Just because the early game power of this spell is so ridiculous. Like, that's as a centaur with, you know, the double ring of protection. That's the start you go for right now, and tact him just as like... Don't care. I have so much physical damage that I do not care about your 4 armor.
I do like this build up so far though. Coming out, double ring of proc, immediately going for the Vanguard, getting boots later. I like that. That will help to make him a little bit more of an unmovable object. You know, the Centaur, he just gets tankier as time goes. Gets those 2 points in the return damage, retaliate damage rather. And he really he can start cutting the wave, pulling the wave into the small camp, pulling the wave into the big camp, just doing all sorts of shenanigans.
You know, so he just plain needs it to live. Like, and he's going into phase boots after more armor. Is just otherwise Double King just runs him out of the lane. Then over in the mid lane, we've got Mark versus James, which is... This one can take a huge turn if the Zeus, because Zeus's range is not that high. And I have seen Zeus's get suddenly tossed into tower, and then their lane is actually pretty much done. Like, otherwise it should just be farming
up top. Austin, he's trying to battery assault, but he doesn't have enough Euphoria here. He has a time walk, able to get back over to the right side of the woods. But he's almost completely out of resources, only rocking with the 9 stick charges. Oh no.
Oh,
down
man.
bottom. Able to bring down the Lina. What was that you were saying about the positioning being better on the carry?
Yeah, well, I guess he's still warming up, but yeah, that's a little disappointing. Once again, that's a careful balance here. As Alina, of course, on the bottom lane, you're not getting as much experience as you would on mid. Losing even half of a creep wave is a pretty big deal. And now, for sure, yeah, we have the level 3 on the center already. Alina and Tusk not nearly there yet, so they're going to have to be very careful on this wave.
And that's going to be the Ring of Health coming out pretty early here for this Centaur. And I mean, he can even start cutting waves with this Ring of Health as long as Rhaegor still hangs by.
Now, I just noticed something interesting, is that James is sponsored Uncrowned King. Oh, no, come on.
No, Isla not going
Thanks,
to be able
Isla.
to do it. But
You know-
James is Uncrowned King.
Yeah, but then we have Double King on the bot lane, and the fun part is that Double King gets his nickname from a short video, and anybody who hasn't seen it should look it up on YouTube. Double King is about an animated guy who steals other kings' crowns. But how are you gonna steal a king's crown if he doesn't have one on?
That's a fair point. Maybe that's maybe that's chessmate.
Yeah.
Oh no, they have found Rhaegor. The tag team gonna start to come through. Now we have the damage, 2 points in the fiery soul stacks. Snowball holding Rhaegor in place. The fairy fire. Oh, I think if he didn't step forward and throw that acorn shot, maybe he could have gotten away. It would have been tough sledding regardless.
Yeah, but it's true that Alina has a little bit less reach without Dragon Slave in the build-up. The points presumably going to come out on the next level though. But yeah, the kill potential of this lane, as we saw in the previous game, is quite insane. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Ripping through a lot of damage on this Centaur. Of course, he really gets a lot of his tank ability when he gets that goddamn,
Full damage block, yes.
Yes, thank you. The bracer.
Oh, double stun incoming.
Double stun. Into the double bushwhack. The snowball save rolling through. Double King back under the tower range. Not going to dive is Darling. Double King now going to turn around, try to pummel out some damage. We do have tag team. Tag team just ends. LSA does not connect. So after that, it's going to be much to do about nothing, or is it? The bushwhack, it connects Darling. Oh, but a good ice shards from Sanctified, making sure that the Darling Centaur cannot get on top of his carry.
Yeah, this is gonna stay scary for a bit here because Double King has absolutely no regen whatsoever. Just a single tango. Magic wand empty. Yeah, just the Tusk is just feeding him tangos now. That's how you do.
In the old days, it would have been salves.
Yep. But does look like Sanctified stepped forward a little bit far here.
Oh, with the Thunder God's Wrath, he definitely did step forward a little bit too far. And where's the Lena at? So she's recovered back to about half HP. Even feeling strong enough to come out and maybe contest for some of this farm. And the Centaur, he's just going to give it to her. Oh, the mid lane, we have a tiff happening. That's going to be the Clockwork. Goes down. Jane's completely out of mana. He does have Arcane Boots in the pocket should he want to use it. Tiny push back, going back to heal. There is a rotation into the mid lane. The Bushwhack, it's going to connect onto the Skywrath Mage. Fairy Fire's there. Tuskar starting the TP in. They might try to turn this around, but there's literally no resources. I believe maybe this is more just taking up some of this experience because there's a whole creep wave under the tower.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's for EXP. He's just going to take that on Sanctified. Also means that the Lina will get to her 6 faster now. Because the Hoodwink was not bought. No threat there. Now Double King needs to be careful though. So his move like this is actually very... I think he didn't see him. Now he does. Like, if you encounter the Hoodwink alone far away enough from the center that he can't kill you, then it's actually fine to go scouting like that. In fact, it's better than sitting there waiting until both of them are on top of you. Now he knows his spot again. Now the Tuskar did spot again. And the balance is restored. And with all that action, we haven't really had time to look up top at all, but this has been a very, very, very nice lane for Isla, who has been dunking on Euphoria.
Maybe this dude can just play some Dota, Kips.
Yeah. From what I saw from the Broodmother, absolutely could. Like, it's one thing to pick the Brood when she's powerful, right? It's another thing to push her to, like, the limits like he did. That requires good understanding of the limits of your hero.
Oh, tag team pumping out some damage into the Centaur Warrunner. Centaur is 6. He does have stamina. He's going to pop that bench. There's the snowball, but they turned around with the Laguna, and now this is going to turn around to be a 2-for-0 trade. No, but the Thunder God's Wrath, they are able to bring down the Lina. Rhaegar trying to scurry, get himself away through the trees. Sanctified trying to line up a spell. He has Ice Shards available in 2 seconds. Rhaegar, juking north, juking south, going to start the TP, and the hunt ends there. And now Silence up top onto this Void. They're even going to drop the RP, but can they bring him down in the time being? No, he's able to get the time walk away. He's going to drop the Chrono. He has a TP coming in. It's a double damage Zeus pumping out the damage. There it is. Down goes the Magnus. Coming in next onto Aframoosh. Aframoosh going into the tree, trying to juke like he's Jimmy. Is he going to pull it off? Up to the north. No, he gets found out. Double kill for James. I thought...
Once again, great defensive rotation on the first botched kill attempt from C-Dub. And they get punished both games now. Also means some levels for this very underleveled Clockwork. Man, if Euphoria has suffered in this top lane, like Austin did even more so.
I mean, both of these supports really not in a great position as far as leveling goes.
No, whereas if you look at the Radiant side, yeah, they're much, much happier. Mark, having left that lane a couple of times, really gave good EXP over to especially the Tusk. Yeah, it's a level 6 Tusk versus a level 4 on that poor Hoodwink.
Stampede trying to get away, coming in, but he dodged out to LSA. Now with the hood stomp out onto the Tuskar, trying to set this up. There's going to be a good Bushwhack following it up. Here comes the Faceless Void, but he doesn't have Chronosphere. So I think we might just be making the good old-fashioned lane swapper Rooney. Just cutting, just seeding the losses. That was the top lane, and looking to make a play down here bottom, take the tower. And the Lina, she's just going to move out of the way. Ping's coming out.
Double King is everything he needs to move into jungle. Even gets a Seeds of Serenity. A nice little bit of regen for a fragile hero. And so, Sanctified, yeah.
Snowball out to the
It's just
creep
buying
wave.
time.
buying time indeed. Rhaegar, luckily he was on the right side of that with the Walrus Punch, brought him down fairly low, but in the end of the day, it is a clean 1-0 exchange, and they're going to take the bottom tier 1 tower, trading it for the top tier 1.
Look at how many heroes were involved there. That's 4 heroes on the bot lane, and Isla was on his own top. So much farming speed for the other heroes. Mark shoving the wave all the way up into mid. Welcome, darling. You like being on half HP? We do.
At some point in time, you would like to see a pipe come out on this centaur, wouldn't you?
Yes, very much so. And that's a big difference from like a couple of patches ago where it'd be like, oh man, the pipe is way too expensive. Why are you even trying it now? It's like, there's huge mid-game damage burst. You'd really want to Chronosphere down.
Chronosphere in the mid lane. We're trying to bring down this this tiny. They do connect on the sniper shot, pulling him back in with the bushwhack. Thunder God's Wrath on top. We're throwing the whole kitchen sink at these boys. Able to pick off 2. The Clockwork does get brought down, or he's just still dead from the last engagement. No, Aframoosh was able to bring down the Clockwork. So Austin, his rough time continues here. And I mean, unfortunately, I don't really think that it's gonna get any better for a Clockwork.
No, that's the Clockwork life, isn't it? It's just you start dying, you keep dying. It just, you know, if you play well, you can push that point up to, I don't know, minute 30 if you're lucky. And something else interesting is happening here. Double King, unlike Aframoosh previously, has the Boots of Travel queued up before the BKB, not intending to come farm anytime soon. So that's a bit more time given over to the team of Silk before that Lina properly intends to join. Of course, BOTs you can always join, but she is so fragile and versus the centaur, it is a risk.
That's Blink Dagger up on the Magnus. Flying out to him now.
Invisibility.
And you can see him. They have the smoke pulled out from the backpack. They're looking to set up a play. And it's the Faceless Void who would potentially be in harm's way. But with this good little ward that they had here, he was able to see the rotations, able to see the movements, and get himself to Safer Days. And now Austin, Safer Days, I'm not sure the same can be said for him. 3-man smoke coming his way. The lad is just trying to get level 6, boys. Just let him get level 6, please.
That would make him a very valuable target indeed, but no such luck. And yeah, that smoke was popped quite a bit too late. If they moved underneath that ward with the smoke on, they would have had the Void. But maybe they can get him anyway.
RP, snowball forward. I cannot believe that just happened.
He was all smug and satisfied that he dodged the gank.
Dude, he thought he was safe. Where were your spidey senses then, dog? Like, what happened? J-Mac, thank you for the follow, dude.
Incoming! And the first hook shot of the game misses. Austin's bad streak continues. Sometimes you have one of those games, man. You get hated on, you finally get your 6, you shoot your shot, still nothing. And really, the mark of a player's quality is how well he deals with that.
Abatos combo onto Rhaegar. Rhaegar with the Laguna, not even going to get his shot off. And now the snowball coming out onto Austin. He's trying to tumbler his way down to the low ground, and he does. I do believe that saves his life. However, oh no, the silence out onto the Faceless Void. He's going to die back to back.
Yikes. That is bad news on a hero that already doesn't farm that fast. At least he's got his Hand of Midas, so, and it's on CD right now. You know what? I take that back. It's fine. Midas on CD. Wait, it wasn't farming anyway.
Oh man. The thing that's interesting to me, Kips, is Ice Frog is still favoring the Dyers 64%.
Ice Frog really likes ultra late game heroes like Faceless Void.
I don't think the Ice Frog believes in the Lina carry. I've noticed this in games where the Lina is the carry. Like, I almost always disagree with the win probability graph.
Interesting. I'm not sure if it works from like historical data or something more nebulous than that. But for sure, like, it sounds like it just has to get used to the Lina carry a bit because she is redonkulous right now.
Smoke gank, trying to find Sanctified. The smoke is not going to pop. Oh, it does. At the last second, it does pop. Holding on to the high ground. They don't want to dive forward on this.
No. No, you say trying to find Sanctified, but honestly, like, Sanctified is probably exactly who you don't want to find.
And now we have a 3-man smoke coming out from the Radiant side. C-Dub coming forward. Who is that in the area? It is Darling. That would be a tough hero to bring down, but with all the magic damage, they're able to pop through this balloon.
You see there, Isla was not actually going to show until they realized that he might get away.
Oh, and that's with
Smart
Hood.
thinking. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a yikers moment.
definitely. And he was gonna get that blink dagger as well, now delayed a little bit more again. And as long as they don't have that blink again, they don't get on top of the Lina. And she has the BOTs now, she's halfway through the BKB. If you have the blink, you can kill this Lina right up until she gets the BKB, and then you can't anymore. And because he built so many defensive items at the start, that window is now very small.
I know I suggested the pipe, but I was thinking like Vanguard blink pipe.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't thinking the other way around.
No, I didn't expect straight pipe either. I mean, the Hood is like, if you're gonna rely on your Clockwork and your Faceless Void to do the jumping in, for example, then sure, the Hood is better, but neither of the top lane heroes have had a good game at all.
Right. A lot is kind of riding on the shoulders of this Zeus and of this Centaur War Runner. So hopefully he's able to get that blink out and I mean, he does already have the gold for it. But a quick disconnect to make us think about what we've done here. As
We talked about him.
we did. His ears are red.
Yeah. And his internet connection was like, nope, nope, nope. He's mentioned something needs to go wrong for him right now. That's how it works. As a caster, if you mention a player, they're going to immediately, you know, the cat jumps on her keyboard.
Sounding like my cats, dude. Jesus Christ.
Have you tried giving them like a little computer of their own, like off to the side?
No.
I've heard that that helps because they want to be involved. So if you give them like a pretend computer, they're going to be like at their pretend computer. I have no idea if this is true, by the way. I don't have cats. I'm not a cat person.
Sure.
I've just seen really cute pictures on the internet of cats with cardboard computers.
Yeah, my cats, they're all hellions, and they don't obey by any rules or regulations of any form or fashion. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they would really care. I think they would still, because it's like, dude comes in acting like he wants to be on my lap, and then like, as soon as I put him on my lap, he jumps off my lap, and then starts rubbing on me again like he wants to be on my lap. So he don't even know what he wants. He don't even know. Like, he just...
Yeah, cats change their mind about like 10 times a second, which is funny when they're in midair, you know?
It definitely is. I think they just want the option. That's all. They
Yeah.
just want to have the option to be there if they want to be there. And then, like, actually, no, it's not as cool as I thought it was going to be. I'm out, dog. So, like, I'll see you later.
Yeah. It's very entitled. It's like those people who think the entire world is just for them. Yeah, cats.
Cats are
The
the
entire
main
world's
character.
just for them. Yeah.
Speaking of pipes, that's going to be the pipe complete on this Magnus.
Yeah, Mag with the game. He farms so fast. He's having a very hype time for himself, and that's going to make the Zeus very sad. You know, on one hand, I used to say, alright, fine, you spend like this much gold for only a Thunderbolt, but actually, you know, that is a big part of his early burst damage if you can take that edge
Bush
off.
shot
Yeah.
in the woods. It's going to connect. The Bushwhack to follow
Oh.
it up. Finally, we're able to get a play going for the side of Silk. Let's go, boys.
Let's go. I'm so sorry. I was talking through that. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Hey, man, that's just the name of Dota sometimes, man. There are plenty of times where I don't castify because I think that, like, nothing is going to come of this, and then, like, it ends up being a huge fight, and I'm coming in half-cocked. Like, yeah, and I feel like a noob.
Oh, every day. That's the beauty of this game, though. You're new forever.
Absolutely.
And now, smoke
Hunting,
on this Centaur
lurking.
Blink.
Oh, and they're going to find Sanctified first. There's going to be the Acorn shot. Turn around. We have a Bushwhack. Surely? No, they don't even need it. Going to drop the Thunder God's Wrath. Get a kill onto the Zeus. Who I feel like we haven't really spoken of that much. He's got an E-Blade complete.
Yeah.
Working towards a Blink Dagger.
Which is, I looked at his item build early on. I'm like, okay, there's the Kaya. It's going to be a Sanj after that. After that, he's going to go maybe a Blink Dagger. Maybe he goes straight into something like the Bloodstone or the Octarine. But no, he just got the E-Blade. And I do think that's one of the better defensive items to save somebody who's caught in an RP versus the machine gun damage of the Lina. Or a way to enhance your own burst, of course, in a game where that burst damage is really needed to get a 1-up over a seed-up in like any kind of engagement that you find. Because if you can't burst any of them, then the way that their heroes synergize together is really just going to run over you. There's the BKB for Lina. That was your Centaur Blink reveal. You didn't get the Lina, now she has a BKB. And unless Double Kings, well, Cat jumps on his keyboard, he should always be able to get this off before the stomp comes through.
4-man smoke up. C-Dub. They want to get aggressive. They do have this Lina BKB, as you just mentioned. Do you think, is this a play where the Lina is going to push the mid lane and they're going to try to bait the Lina?
10 out of 10. Hello, I am here. Nothing's going on.
Notice me.
Yeah. One of the oldest tricks in the book, though.
It really is.
I really don't think Silk's fallen for it one bit. Picture that fish. See that? That's bait.
Shark bait. Ooh ah.
Unfortunately, though, if you withdraw from that bait, this is usually the follow-up step. It's the Roshan.
Yeah. And there's really not a single thing that they can do about this play. They are going to scout it out with the Rocket Flare, but it's going to be way too late. Maybe they can try to pick off some of the stragglers on the high ground, but they cleared off the vision. So even that play feels a bit dangerous. So that is going to be Aegis of the Immortal in the pocket of the Lina. And with the arrows drawn, it looks like they want to go top, Kips.
Yep, sure do. Finally take out one of the tier 2 towers. Make sure that you can get the enemy outpost, get that pressure, especially with the TP boots up on your Lina. You can now have a consistent pressure on this top side of the map. They're so scared on Silk. Like, they should be getting the tower trade here on bot, but it takes a while for the Centaur to actually show up. He's less threatening to RP in mid. They're just tossing spells at each other. Nothing's actually happening. Just grandstanding.
Able to take the top tower and keep their bottom tower alive with that nifty glyph of the fortification. Now 4 heroes in the mid lane. Maybe they're going to be looking for a smoke play. They back up behind the back up behind the creep wave. And now the 3-man, they are smoked up. No vision in the area, though, so that does make things a little bit awkward. They're making a play onto Afromoosh. Rainbow with TP's coming in from the Radiant side. They are going to make the ride of the Rohirrim. The help is here, boys. Bringing down the Centaur. Rhaegar next to fall. The Walrus Punch flipping him high in the sky and right back down on his bum.
Ouch. And yeah, there's, you know, you get the Rod of Atos for the solo kill potential, but also for the HP, and Afromoosh just a little bit too tanky there. I do think he did it on purpose. He had a suspicion that there were a lot of people around, and not only is he right, he's also still alive.
Oh, but Austin, the same cannot be said for him.
Nah. No, this is the pain train. Once these 3 melee heroes get going, they're all so mobile, and they all have ways to displace each other and themselves. They have several saves among them as well, plus the big team fight out of the RP. Once they're all 3 on top of a hero, like, the only thing you can do is drop a Chronosphere on top. Anything else is not enough of a response from Silk. I don't think Euphoria quite feels like it. Afro?
So tense. And you see, even now, it's saying it's only a 54% chance for the Radiant favor. We'll hold that thought because there's a hook shot, followed up by the sharpshooter. Stampede coming in. They want to get this kill. They get the kill onto the Tusk. Can they get anything else? Chasing forward onto Aframoosh, but Aframoosh is already down the stairwell and leaking out through the 5-hole. There is a hero, the Centaur, coming up from the bottom. He is onto your screen now on the left side. He sees him, going to blink over to the right with the hoof stomp. Can the friends come in time? They simply cannot.
And that was use of the Stampede. So yeah, they're just going to leverage this Aegis more on bot. Get this tower down. I would hope that they try to get at least a base tower. Get some proper base pressure going with this Aegis, but it might be a little bit short on the timing, and they might not feel completely satisfied with their item progression. Like, as much as they've been having map control, there's a lot of farm on this Zeus, and the Faceless Void is starting to get to the point where he's actually a threat. Got the BKB.
4-man smoke coming forward on the invade. That's going to blink Avatos combo down Rhaegor. Darling with the hoof stomp onto Mark. Now they're trying to find Isla. Isla says, get back over here. Gonna drag him back with the skewer. The silence comes out onto the Faceless Void. BKB is there. He's gonna find the Lina with the Chronosphere. He finds the Lina with the Chronosphere, but you gotta finish killing. You gotta finish killing her. You gotta finish killing her. That's gonna be the Aegis popped. The drag back. He is able to get the time walk away. Meanwhile, James able to pick off the Tiny at the top hand of your screen, but the Faceless Void goes down. James soon to follow. Shotgun. Is it gonna do it? Nope. They're able to close the gap yet again with how mobile these heroes are, as Kips was just talking about 5 minutes ago, and now the bots down to the bottom lane, maybe trying to find Austin to take another kill for this team.
And it's kind of hard place right there. For the entire game, as the Faceless Void, you've conditioned yourself mentally. If I see the Lina, I chrono her. If I see the Lina, I chrono her. And he does that. He starts hitting her, and he's like, crap. This is the only time where I could have gotten the kill without her wailing on me. I didn't do that. And the earlier he kills her there, the earlier after the chrono she respawns, that would have been worse to kill her even earlier. But then he chronoed for nothing while his team was getting mopped up.
Talking about mopped up, Sanctified getting mopped up here on what was they always leave the supports behind, man. What about saving Private Ryan? That's all I'm saying.
No. Private Ryan came to the wrong hood. It's his problem now.
Try to check my flag, see how gangster I am.
Yeah, no, this is what I learned from Z Freak. Like, if the homies go into a bad neighborhood, you don't go after them. You wait outside of it for them to come back.
I mean, that makes sense coming from Z Freak. I ain't gonna talk too much shit. You got.
I mean, he was very bad at following his own advice, mind you. Like, that complexity team that I was on, always dying one after another.
Oh, coming forward. We're trying to bring down Isla here. That's the boomerang into this focus fire shot, but he's able to get the skewer away. The shotgun's there. But now they can't right-click him. The Tusk is here with the snowball, drag it back. The Tiny as well with the blink combo. Double King is here, but they have the detection. They see the Lina. They bring down the Lina at the beginning of the fight. Chasing forward onto Sanctified. Austin and James. Snowball there going to delay the inevitable, but he's snowballing in onto Austin. They've taken down 4.
The homie went to a bad neighborhood.
I mean, they definitely try. That was save a homie syndrome for real, though.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
And then Double King misses the. I think he might have actually gotten
the
back.
hook shot.
The last one.
He threads the needle between the creeps and connects on the Tiny and turns it into a delayed total team wipe for Silk.
Well, you know, that previous game we were like, oh, maybe this is the turnaround. I was like, nah. This one, though, this gold lead was a lot more fragile. And the answers that Silk has in their pockets here, like this Faceless Void, will only continue ramping up. And that's starting to be a problem. I don't think they could actually afford to lose this many heroes. Now their mid tower is gone. That's a lot less reach for you on the map. They also don't have a lot of vision down right now on the Radiant in general. And their waves are not in the greatest position. So They gotta get, yeah, Aframush is just immediately warding. He's like, okay, we gotta make sure we don't lose grip on the vision situation right now. Otherwise, you can't actually make another play. The problem is that, of course, they just lost a fight where Chrono was not spent. So if you try to regain any territory, you know, recoup your losses, you're still fighting into Chrono.
So we're just going no Nimbus on this Zeus, huh?
No Nimbus, no problems. I mean, the Aeon Disc is fantastic here as well. Problem really has been like it's all these business decisions that the Lina is.
Ooh. Hook shot not quite able to connect. Oh no, there's going to be the charge forward, the Stampede, the BKB coming out, but the counter RP connects onto the Faceless Void. He was trying to connect onto Double King, now he is going to get the Chronosphere, and meanwhile they picked off the Tusk. Oh, but with the Hoof Toss, it pulls him out of his own Chrono. They finally do get the damage to bring down the Lina. James is going to be the one who picks up the kill, coming forward with the Move Stomp, the Blink Dagger onto Isla, trying to bring him down. James is in the area to support. They have brought down Afro. Isla looking like he's going to be the next to fall. Shotgun is there, Bushwhack. We need one more. There it is with the Arc Lightning. James picking up the kill. And these last two fights have come up all Silk.
They have, and it's all to do with finding this Lina. She gets the BKB off in time this time, but when you still have a Chrono left to go and you just don't have enough damage on their damage healers, like the Zeus was barely touched in that fight. Yeah, you're starting to get into trouble. This was supposed to be like a... I still don't know. Can you give me a good word for this? Play-by-plays are always better at this. I've always called teamfights like this an onion. Like you peel one layer of engagement and then there's another one from the other side. One layer, one layer, one layer. But that doesn't quite feel vivid enough. This is supposed to be an exchange of engagements where, you know, the last one with an engagement spell comes out on top.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like right now on setup they don't actually get to peel off the layers on their side at all, and it's just one after another from Silk.
It's all see, no saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Supposed to seesaw
like
here,
that.
boys. It's all see, no
Yeah.
saw.
See?
Four-man smoke. We're on the hunt. They know Chronosphere is not available for another 30 seconds. Silver Edge forward.
And this angle is very good because they're going to come at them from the high ground right now. They saw the courier.
The Blink, the Stampede coming forward. The hook shot out onto the Lina. But there's a good RP coming in. Mark now coming in with the damage. The LSA is a bit of a whiff. It doesn't connect onto anybody. Euphoria going to come forward. He gets the bash out onto the Lina. The Lina goes down. Mark the next to fall. Isla trying to skewer himself away. But no, he's going to get bushwhacked. He got slowed first with the bullwhip. Hoof toss, but it doesn't matter because Euphoria is able to get to the other side of the cogs. Now he's going to try to skewer himself away yet again, but the chase continues and they have an immediate bash. Euphoria. James is the one who picks up the kill. And that's like 2 team wipes in a row, dog.
Yep. That's 2 team fights in a row. That's Roche back up. That is Chrono still up because once again they lost the fight into no Chrono. They timed it for that. And I thought they had such a good positioning there too. But the Lina just doesn't actually get to deal that much damage for all these BKB. And they just... As good as that RP looked, it was not good enough to actually deal enough damage into.
Yeah, the Lina, it felt like the Lina that whole fight just kept getting pushed off the spot. And Euphoria with this reach, with this time walk, he was just able to get right on there.
Yeah, and it's it looks like the uncrowned king is indeed beating the guy stealing crowns. It's
7D chess, Kips. He's just playing 7D chess.
Beating with the nickname. Oh, double king, you don't know what to beat there. That's so close. If Austin has like any more information about, you know, several of the Radiant heroes being in the jungle, he goes for that hook shot and you're toast.
Oh, maybe coming in onto Euphoria. Can he get the time walk away? He does. Gonna turn around, start pumping damage into the Tusk. Tusk goes down. Now stuck in the cogs is the Tiny. Mark, no, not like this. Mark goes down. There's the Thunder God's Wrath. It's the scouting one, trying to find other heroes. They're juking to the right. going towards the east, trying to find this Lina, trying to find Afro Moosh. Trying to, oh no, they connect with the bushwhack. James is down here already.
Yeah.
Double King throws his BKB. He's trying to man up and pump through. He does get the kill onto Rhaegar, but they have dusted up this Lina. She cannot get away. Down goes the Lina. Euphoria is popping off in this game. So is James.
Yep. And that right there, like, the only way I see them winning a fight anymore is if they actually, if Silk makes a mistake on the high ground push, right? Because you're going to be putting a melee hero, this Faceless Void, up on the high ground. You have a bunch of nice engagement. You can toss him back. You can, well, you can't punch him back. This is a pretty poor tusk. But you can skewer him back. You can do some horn toss shenanigans, you know, into Lina DPS. But yeah, if you just get caught outside of your base like that, then in the open terrain, they have so much advantage right now.
Oh, Afro. Got caught out with the jetpack hook shot. Turned around, dropped the Mystic Flare down, did some damage to the Zeus, but the Zeus with the Bloodstone, I just don't think he's that worried about it.
Nah. Absolutely not. And the burst damage has ran out over on the side of CDUP. They should have at this point had a bigger lead. They should have been able to find more pickoffs. And instead they played a very, I want to say like a very methodical game. It was all by the book, but perhaps a little bit too chill. And you lose one fight into the Faceless Void and suddenly you get to know why the Ice Frog Graph loves it so much.
Yeah. I mean, the Ice Frog, he's proven that he knows a little something about Dota this time around, man. I really thought that this game was much more solidly in the bag for C-Dub early, and now this game is just opened right up as it's a 16k net worth advantage. Oh no, they connect onto Mark with the hook shot. He's going to turn around with the Avatos combo. Euphoria is here. TPing in is the Zeus. Just popping the damage, turning the mountain into rubble. And next to follow is his frosty friend, the Tusk. Darling?
That's enthusiastic. And to be fair, he doesn't have too much to fear right now. He's gonna go for the overwhelming blink. Man's got 3.5k health, and this Lina just hasn't scaled that much in terms of damage right now. It's the Silver Edge. It's gonna do well, but now the question is like, see the Gleipnir queued up. But I think you really want to finish that Satanic first now, because you're paper.
Oh, Rhaegar, he's gonna find Isla. He gets bashed up, stunned up by the Centaur Warrunner. Isla, he's gonna get the skewer away up to the high ground. The sniper shot doesn't connect, but with the time walk and walk back, able to get away. And now the aggression coming out onto the Zeus. Afro Moosh does go down. Austin with the rocket flare. Can we talk for a second about what a recovery Austin has made in this game?
I mean, so before, that's the measure of a player, right? How well do they do after, you know, nothing went right for the first 15 minutes? And he's done a great job. He has been getting helped a little bit by the fact that nobody on the enemy team actually built any force staffs. Just saying. And just like, yeah, this Glock doesn't have a game. We don't need to build force staffs. That's kind of how he gets the game again, though. Alright, and this is that kind of awkward high ground with your Centaur, with your Faceless Void, like, just oh, Marcus is blink cancelled. He's bait.
Games and Pizza says it's also called an onion because it makes you cry.
I mean, well executed, peeling back the layers of a team fight. Like, first this guy goes, then this guy. It feels very good. No, this does
not letting me get a drink of coffee. Oh no, the Chronosphere is good. It's on 4. They can't. They're all just being melted, cut to smithereens. The snowball to save for now, trying to reset the situation here. Isla still going to go down. Sanctified, the next to fall. The Ice Shards, not enough. Euphoria has the reach. And now they're just moving on to tier 4 towers, it seems. No, they're going to back up, decide to go for this lane of barracks.
If you want to reset this situation, you need to go back 15 minutes.
Oh,
There's-
RP onto Euphoria, dragging him back. Do they have the damage to
Tossing
bring him down?
back further?
BKB is there. Can we get out of it?
No.
He has the time walk. He's going to get out. The Austin, he's going to come in with the stun. Snowball save yet again on to Mark. BK beat up, charging forward, trying to get his hands onto anybody. Austin is able to make the great escape. Laguna gets dropped, blink forward the avalanche, but just not enough damage. And here
look at
comes the
him zoom in.
Centaur. Centaur jumping in. Oh my goodness, he's Centaur getting ripped to smithereens, popped like a pinata. The candy's all over the ground. Still, the fight continues, raging on. Spells being pumped out by Afro Moose. There's going to be the hook shot coming in. It connects onto one, but the Austin gets popped down fairly quickly. The silence onto the Faceless Void. They bungled this a little bit. They've overstepped their bounds. That's going to be a total team wipe back in the other direction. C-Dub have a breath of life.
And it's all about the Lina not dying, and after that they can't get back on top of her anymore. Like, their fight fell apart, even though they've been doing so well in that aspect recently, but Double King escapes their clutches, and there's the power of the carry Lina that I thought we'd see much more of this game, because that damage was surreal. It's a little bit too little too late. Well,
Oh God. Oh, not like this. Please, not like this. Okay. Whew.
so Hoodwink. Hoodwink deals a lot of damage if she has a game.
Yes, she does.
And she is currently catching up to that Tiny. And what do you get then for all your trouble? Well, not a Rax. Not really any towers, because you took all of those already. Just more like a little reminder by the Hoodwink that you need to win a bunch more fights.
Yes, indeed. As it is still tough sledding for the C-Dub side, but they were able to recover from a 100% win probability to 96%, 95%, and trending upwards now. So maybe 100% isn't always 100%, Kips.
Yeah.
Stampede. They want to come aggressive. They just use the Thunder God's Wrath to scout it out. The hook shot onto the back lines. It's going to connect onto the Tuskar. I'm not sure if this is who he wanted to connect on. Snowball safe. The Lina, she's here. She's Laguna onto Austin. Austin with the force staff. Going to try to get himself away. A good RP. It's going to connect onto two. But Zeus, he got the E-Blade out onto Double King. So Double King delayed the damage out. Can Euphoria get the time off away? He does, and he gets the counter chrono. It's on to three. They've brought them down. It's going to be a total team wipe, and GG gets called.
If you get that play 5 minutes earlier, if you get that play 10 minutes or anywhere in the game, you actually win it. But that was the first time that we saw like a real proper good RP on several cores with Alina, more or less free to hit into it, like on the second RP in this case, after that E-Blade came out. And the DPS was just not enough at that point. You just run out of juice. And that's smarts. That's smarts for C-Dub. But real props there to Silk though. Like the difference in itemization that they made, and I specifically want to, of course, shout out James here for that E-Blade pickup. That got them a bunch of kills. That saved several of their supports several times. Good recovery from Austin as well, and yeah, like patience from this team. Ultimate patience. Just keep on farming, keep them coming. If you get your Faceless Void online, you can trust that you might get that win, and that's exactly what they did.
Sorry, I got to check the schedule real quick because I thought that we had. Okay, so I guess we get C-Dub 3 games in a row.
Oh, I thought we would get Silk versus the other boys.
Yeah, I thought we had Silk versus Shandog, but no, I guess we have Silk versus, or I'm sorry, we have Kingpin versus C-Dub.
Okay, well, give me more C-Dub. I'm always happy to take a more. See what they got next after this reality check.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's what it said on the schedule. They must have switched it up.
Well, I guess we just we make that lobby and we see who turns up.
Okay, so they had to change.
Mm. Well, sure. Let's uh let's see if Sita buys 4 staffs against the next Clockwork. Also, good versus Hoodwink versus Centaur. It's a nice 4 staff game. Mm. Anyway, in that case, I am going to run to the bathroom real quick.
Yes,
Be right back.
do your thing. Miss Kips, you there?
Sure thing, Mr. Rada.
Oh snap! Whew. Oh shit! I need to turn my light back on. Shit got real dark in here real quick, didn't it, boys? Ugh. I am a creature of the night, so I never have my light on in this room. Oh.
I wanted to make some remark about being old, but you're also basically a fossil, right? In this Dota 2 scene.
Yeah, I'll be
A lot
30
of
in a
kids.
month.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as you hit 30, you're going to start to notice that actually focusing on a really bright screen in a really dark room is going to give you headaches. And it just didn't happen a week ago. Happens now. 30 is a magical number for all the wrong reasons. The
Well,
back pain too. I mean, I bet you already had that, but you know.
Oh yes, yeah, back pain. That's been a thing. Shoot, as long as I can remember. Oh, but I've been
Well,
carrying pubs for a decade now, so eventually it takes a toll on the back.
mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, back pain in Casus is like I don't want to say a time-honored tradition, but like basically every time I run into Fogged at any sort of LAN, I ask him how his back is and if he's been doing his stretches, and the answer is always bad and no.
I feel like I can attest to that. Oh.
I'm like, it's his good right. Nobody likes doing stretches. I have back pain now and I don't do my stretches, but you know, it's a choice.
Oh man, oh man.
At
I
least
tell
for
ya.
most of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I get to a point with back pain, man, where it's like I don't even want to mess with it. Like if I stretch, if I do massage stuff, like whatever, like it's going to end up hurting worse by the time that it's all said and done. So like I'll just
Yeah.
become a rock, become a brick. I'm not going to mess with you, dog. It's like if you see a ghost in your house, it's like, "Hey, you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. Like we ain't got
Yeah.
to get no exorcist involved. Like ain't nothing happening, man."
Yeah, you don't, you know, drop my cups out of my cabinets. I mean, to be fair, in your house you probably wouldn't have to because the cats do that.
Luckily, my shits, it's pretty locked up tight. Like I don't think they've ever, like, they'll get up there and maybe if there was like a dirty dish left on the counter, that one might be at risk. But largely, they don't really mess with that stuff. Like they're pretty good.
Nice.
Honestly, they're too busy harassing each other to really harass the things around.
Mm. That's why you gotta have two, keeping each other occupied.
Shit, I got 3.
I see.
Yeah, I had one. Like right before my now wife and I started dating. She got one soon after we started dating while we were both living with our parents, and then we got a third when we moved into our house because it was a Maine Coon, and who's not going to take the opportunity to get a Maine Coon?
I would take the opportunity to take a Maine Coon. I would.
Dude,
And,
there's he's such a sweet boy too. It's a Tomcat, so I mean he's big as hell. Like he's only half Maine Coon, but he's still big as a mug. So
yeah.
I dig with him. He's just kind of like a dog more than anything else.
It sounds like he's certainly bigger than some dogs.
Oh yeah, no, I've had my parents have like a dachshund. They had a pug. Like literally every dog that my parents have ever owned, my cat is bigger than. Like he could probably walk over them. Damn near. Like, and he would because he just doesn't care.
Yeah. Cats have the power of not giving a shit. Alright, Kingpin.
So Kingpin apparently just got stomped again in game number 2. So they have yet to have a game stretch 30 minutes so far. And it's rough.
Okay.
They're having a rough day. But
yeah,
this could always be their moment. This could always be the one that turns it around, that rights the ship.
Yep.
We're at the halfway point of the day. This is game number 3 of 5.
I mean, everything is possible. I just think that CW is probably going to be feeling a bit miffed that they let that one slip through their fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see what how Kingpin wants to approach the draft, because so far I can't remember the first game who was banned out. It was Dawnbreaker +1. And then game 2 they banned out Dawnbreaker plus Broodmother.
Mm-hmm.
So do they let them touch the Lena again? Do they let them
I mean, this this Lena pick is pretty easy to address if she doesn't actually adjust her item build to the game at hand, right? You know, that's the item build of James really shows that, right? Because he went Ethereal Blade, and then he already had the Aether Lens queued up as well. And like, sure, you're a carry Lena. You really don't want to use one of your slots for the now I'm choking on the word. You know, save him alive thingy. But the thing is that you're up versus a Faceless Void. Just do it. Just buy the thing. Yes, the Aeon Disc is going to cost you a slot, but it's also going to save you your life. And you know what being alive means? Being alive means dealing damage.
Hmm.
A lot of people think that defensive items don't deal damage, and that's wrong. They do.
right.
So you deal 0 DPS when you're dead.
Absolutely that. And I mean, sometimes you got to make the defensive play in order to make an offensive one. And I mean,
Yep.
It cuz you saw even in the fights where the Lena didn't die, she was continuously harassed and pushed off of the spot outside of maybe one or two where you saw where she was actually able to sit there and pump some damage out. So I
Yep.
mean, and that just attests to exactly what you're talking about, where you know if you're the best ability is availability, and if you're never able to be in a fight, then
Yep.
what the frick are we doing here?
Yeah, couldn't say it any better, really. Like the couple of fights where he actually got to wait out the multiple layers of initiation to finally turn it around. Yeah, that's the position you want to be in, but wouldn't you rather stand a little bit more forward so you can make more use of your opportunities, and then, you know, when they go on you, have it be very unrewarding? Faces Void. I think when Aeon Disc first properly got like noticed for how good it was, like Faceless Void pretty much became unplayable overnight. It's like, oh, we're up against the Void. Okay, everybody buy Aeon Disc. Like, doesn't matter. It's the same as like, you know, old OG, like talking really old times OG. If they played up against an Axe, just everybody buys Yule Scepters. Played up against a Winter Wyvern, everybody buys E-Blades. Like Liquid used to do that as well. Kuroki is the kind of guy that really emphasized that stuff. Like E-Blade doesn't fit your build, it doesn't matter. Like it's just Winter Wyvern casts ult, you immediately E-Blade whoever's in the middle. Nice. Done. Hero neutered.
Dude, let's go. Fuck it, I'm just gonna run it.
Just toss him in.
You can pause it if you weren't ready. I won't count the time against you.
5 seconds remain. Dire's ban.
Let's see what we've got on the opposing.
Radiant's ban. Dire's ban.
No Lena this time around. So who do they let through? Do they let through the Brood?
Finally.
Do they let through the Dawnbreaker?
Should be Dawnbreaker.
Radiant's
Just
ban.
give Double King his Dawnbreaker if he. Oh, the bad. Okay, well, Isla, she's all yours, baby.
Oh dear.
Hmm.
Radiant team are
Like
now
that was a no-brainer. Like you give that, he's gonna do it. He's got an 88% win rate in pubs right now. I think I saw. Absolutely stupid.
They're gonna have to deal with another dire side Broodmother here.
only 10
Hopefully
seconds.
Kingpin are able to make some adjustments to answer for it.
Mm.
The Pangolier, that's a nice
Yep.
start.
Pango Tusk, absolutely phenomenal combo. Follow up really well on each other. The multi-hit of the Pango combined with the
10
snowy
seconds to
hands.
pick.
Man, my vocabulary broke somewhere. I think I used it all
5
up in the previous
seconds.
game.
Hurry,
It's just
hurry.
been so
Um,
hype, man. That last team fight, it melted your brain.
Yeah, my entire prefrontal cortex is actually in a puddle on the desk right now.
Dire's bad.
Anyway,
Oh,
Tusk,
they get both.
Pango, melty people. Yep, Dawnbreaker, big double king signature. I mean, I was talking to you before we went live, right? That this man likes his fast carries. He likes to make plays. He wants to make moves. He does not want to get stuck hitting creeps for hours on end. And in that regard, maybe the Lina, with how farmy she is currently, is not a great fit for his skill set. Still one hell of a hero though, so you know, Kingpin definitely right in actually taking it out. Yeah, Naga out, Silencer out. So they're definitely intending it. Like, Dawnbreaker feels really good
Picking.
together with Split Pushers because this Broodmother, we saw previously that you always need to bring multiple heroes in order to bring a Broodmother down. 1 is food, 2 is still turnable, and then especially if you could put a Dawnbreaker on top, like that's just a team fight. So taking that Silencer out, making sure that you can
10
always
seconds.
put that Dawn onto the Broodmother.
5
Space
seconds.
flight
Hurry,
into,
hurry.
well, it's gonna be the bottom lane because this again is a dire Broodmother. Feels good, man. And now Kingpin, and this is the big pick. You have your opening bid here. You've got yourself a really strong lane. You've got some good damage potential. You got some ganks going. These heroes can still be flexed. The Pango could go mid still, but this is where you either finalize your support duo,
Dire team
or you're going to show another core, and it is a tree and protector. So they are aiming to slow down this Broodmother. Now, what I really want to see here, and I'm sorry that I'm not letting you get in a single word, but what's going to happen is that you want to put this Pangolier on the lane with the Broodmother
10
once the Brood
seconds
hits
to
6 or once she starts threatening your tower. And at the very least, the Pango needs to be able to move there,
5
kill a couple of
seconds
waves, you know, reset her spider countdown, and then move out again. And in order for that to not stop your entire map momentum, because I've said that before, like if you bring the one hero that can deal with it bot, that's usually your tempo hero. That's why Mars is not actually that phenomenal versus Broodmother if you don't have anybody else who can make moves. So Kingpin needs somebody else who can make moves here. It needs to not only be the Pangolier. So a pretty active and maybe somewhat independent mid hero would be very nice. Ember and Tiny are out though, which is like my 2 top candidates for that exact role.
So what is something else that comes to your mind then?
Dire team are now picking.
That's nasty as immediately throwing it back. Leshrac.
Let's
Give me Lesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I honestly, I learned just as much from these casts with you as I'm sure the people at home who are watching do. So, like, I'm more than happy to just let you go on these long tangents, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, it just helps, it helps me to learn about the game, you know what I'm saying? Which inevitably will help me to, you know, help further my career and all that jazz, you know? It's just, information is power. And talking about power, we're going with Grimstroke, Spirit Breaker, just getting pimp nasty ugly chicken on this C-Dub roster so far.
Yeah, these boys come to brawl. Grimstroke and Spirit. I mean, you get the Inkswell stun, right? You get some phenomenal double action. Okay, that's a hero that can get active, but I wonder if that's going to be their carry pick. Like, I think Pudge can actually pretty reasonably hold a lane versus a Broodmother. It's just been forever since we've seen Carry Pudge. Do you remember what happened to it? Why did Carry Pudge fall off? Like they nerfed his shard, I believe.
You know, I honestly don't remember. And with the way the Dota works, I feel like it's just like he just kind of became there just became a new flavor of the month. In came Lena Carey, and so everybody forgot all about the Pudge.
Yeah, but he was already falling down before TI.
Dire's ban.
Not just. No, it was the full scepter. Yeah, the scepter got nerfed. That was it. Especially the was there a
Only
bonus
10
health regen on it
seconds.
before? I don't quite remember what the change
5
was, but
seconds
at any rate,
remaining.
pretty sure it was a scepter
Please
nerf.
spare.
And if it was particularly significant or not, I'm not sure. Sometimes those heroes just drop off because they got a nerf and not because the nerf necessarily made them unplayable. And then they'll eventually make their return and we find out if it was like actually a harsh nerf or not. And this might just be that game because I don't really see a mid pudge coming in here, to be honest. Like that would be
10
one hell of a
seconds
pick.
to pick.
But
So that
not
was
a lot of teams do that.
in a game that I casted.
5 seconds.
If
Hurry,
not last night, the
hurry.
night before, it was they ran a mid pudge against Naga, and he had a good
Mhm.
game on the pudge. I mean,
Oh, see the
still did the same
flesh.
shit. He did the Aghanim Scepter into Eternal Shroud, and just kind of ran at people. And I mean, he was a problem.
Yeah. Well,
10 seconds to pick.
the problem is really that the guy who does that thing better is Leshrac with the
5
Bloodstone.
seconds. Hurry, hurry.
You run at people with your disco ball on, and then they die and you heal because Bloodstone is balanced. Yeah. And the fact that C-Dub gets this on the last pick here as well, I'm not sure why people rate Leshrac like mid-tier now or something. Like the reason Leshrac got beaten at TI was because of Wraith Pact. Wraith Pact plus a pipe plus a ton of other auras. Like that's literally the only thing that stopped it in its tracks all the way at like the end of the tournament. Like that's how long it took for the Lesh to get stopped off. It was only Tundra who could stop the Lesh. And now Wraith Pact only removes physical damage. So yeah. So why are we not seeing Disco Pony all over the place? And the answer is, of course, that we are. He's been consistently picked in at least both the China DPC and Eastern European DPC. But still, I still think that's not enough Lesh. Should be in every single match.
They're on a bit of a timer, aren't they?
Oh, on Kingpin?
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because technically a pudge scales super deep, and Viper as a backup core is not bad, but Dawnbreaker and Broodmother are going to have a pretty great set. The Brood has a lot less of a free time here, though. If you don't get that tower down early, you might actually get shunted out of that lane once Kingpin starts to rotate. So there is a bit of a troublesome point there. But then again, like you have a Lesh now. But you have two pushers versus the Treant Protector. If he doesn't have a phenomenal game, if the rest of his team doesn't have a phenomenal game, towers will start to fall. Like it's funny, it's like CDEP wants me to relive all my Vega experiences, but double pushers means that you can group on one push hero, and either you win that fight and you push the tower on that fight, or you lose that fight, you retreat, and your other pusher is somewhere else pushing another tower, and you get that one down. And enemy teams usually cannot coordinate. Like, it takes a very good team to coordinate a defense against both at the same time. And especially since this is like, a Lesh, and we have a Dawnbreaker that can come into either of these potential fights. Like, CDUB, if they organize themselves well and specifically only group up with these two when they know they're going to win a fight properly, should still get space on the map. Whereas pushing towers for Kingpin is really reliant on getting this Viper in position and getting good pickoffs. Like this is definitely what I'd call like a pickoff lineup again.
Here we go, as C-Dub are hoping to have a better showing in this game number 3 than they did in game number 2. That game was very close, very tight, very hype. And this game will have a tall task to try to live up to what we just saw there, as we'll get into these hero introductions. For Kingpin, on the Radiant side of the map, Nappy will be on the Pangolier. Chill will be on the Treant Protector. Curly will be on the Pudge. Dave will be on the Viper, and Rald will be on the Tusk. Meanwhile, the dire side of the map will be manned up by C-Dub. Mark will be on the Leshrac. Double King on the Signature. Dawnbreaker. Sanctify will be playing the Grimstroke. Afro will be on the Spirit Breaker. And last but not least, we will be getting the treat that is the Isla Broodmother once again.
I mean, you're calling it a treat now. You're going to be fed up with it in a week. I know I will. But
Well, some of us
Isla
didn't
is
get picked up for DPC Kips, okay? So...
it's like I'm going to get that many mad. Anyway. Anyway. This is the chill cast. I'm gonna get my my dander up here.
Begin the digital
We do have Hook first on Curly. Setting up, trying to line it up on Sanctified. Ooh,
Ah.
with a good step, sidestepping it.
Yeah, wants a high five. Don't think he's gonna get one, but he can high five his tower if you like. That's deserved. And hey, we have another. We have Mark versus Dave this time. Battle of the Psychos.
They're all just trying to be like Quinn, man.
Well, to be fair, Quinn sort of like graduated to being just Quinn. Like he had to properly earn his stripes, you know. And this lane for Dave does look to be pretty good if he can avoid getting hammered. The Viper is not that tanky early levels, yeah.
Rald coming in clutch with the Ice Shard Shave. Ice Shard Save. Maybe I should warm up saying that instead of rapping.
Were you watching?
All right,
I
so let's
think
talk about these lanes. Which one of these lanes is going to be the action lane?
I mean, level 3 on top is going to be a big clash. Indubitably, we're going to see Inkswell into Double King getting on top of either of these two heroes, maybe both of them at the same time, and then drop in that Starbreaker like it's hot. And on the other time, we're going to see 1-1-1 from the Tusk. I mean, they're going already, actually, level 2.
Oh, and it is
Not
going to
sure if they have
connect
enough
on to
damage.
Dave
Yep.
with the Starbreaker Double King picking up first blood. And that is a hell of a start.
Yep. And they really just need to repeat
They got
that
level 2
trick.
down bottom, so now they're charging in onto Chill. There's going to be a hook, pulling Aframoosh back. Chill, he's trying to juke through the trees. Is he going to be able to get away? Now Aframoosh is the one who's being brought down to the critical threshold. Fairy Fire trying to stay alive, but he's just getting walked down. Isla desperately trying to right-click into Curly. Able to pick up the kill, and he's taking too much damage from just, oh god, there's a bunch of action happening up top.
Want some
Yeah. They dropped the combo again,
God
but not like
damn
that.
it.
What is that? Oh, goodness. Alright, double kill for Curly. That is phenomenal. And that early pickup on the armor definitely doing work versus this very physical bottom lane.
Charge
Like this
back
treant,
onto
stanky.
Chill. Going in on to Chill. They're starting to get the root seed, starting to get some regeneration. Isla turning his attention over to Curly, able to sidestep the hook is Afro Moosh, but still just not quite enough damage yet here in the early game to bring either of these tanky heroes down.
And do you see how little damage Curly takes with that 8 extra armor? Like, sure, Isla is nibbling on him, but it's really not doing all that much.
No, not really all that much at all. As the mid laners, they take turns stealing the other's bounty. Charge
That's,
coming out onto Curly. Slowed down a little bit, but he gets that he just gets that armor from the Treant Protector, and it makes this lane very, very difficult.
Yep, and that means that Aframush is going to have to look at other lanes to make that impact in, and he has to be pretty fast if he wants to get at Nappy in the middle lane. Once the Pangolier hits 6, I'm not sure they have enough damage to bring him down before the Rolling Thunder comes in and turns it around.
Ice shards up the top lane, but we have the ink swell out onto the double king with the Starbreaker. He's able to get the kill onto the Viper, trading only the life of his support for this. And now with the creeps, they're helping to pump out some damage into Rald. Cuidado. Maybe waiting another second for this burst of spells to be available, and Double King will dip back into that cup.
See, Double King will have to play careful until his support is available again, but yeah, he too has a TP.
Down bottom. Aframoosh, is he able to walk down chill here? God, this has to be so frustrating. Finally, that last right click, he gets the bash, and he's able to bring down this tree in. He'll be back up in 14 seconds, but just a little respite is definitely very well wished.
Yeah, that extra magical damage there doing a lot of work. We're going really even Stevens on this mid lane, which makes for an interesting situation where the decision is up to Nappy now.
Charge
He's
onto Curly, coming in down in the bottom lane. We're trying to bring down. They're able to bring down this Pudger. Meanwhile, up top, they were able to bring down the Viper. Rald is brought down fairly low himself, but completely out of resources. Is this Dire safe lane?
Yep. Nice, and that is C-Dub capitalizing on the bottom lane on the unavailability of the living armor, because Chill used it on himself and died. And now we're going to hit the 6 minute marks. We're going to hit the 6 on both of the mid laners. Either of them would be looking for a rotation right now, but the problem here is that there's a little bit of a doesn't he or don't he situation. Yeah.
Oh, Mark is going to find out the dust, and the charge comes through from Aframoosh onto Nappy. Nappy is going to get the living armor applied to him, and he is going to be able to walk himself back up to the high ground. Swashbuckle misses, only connects on the catapult.
Oh, but that's not a miss. That is not a miss. He needed to take out the catapult because now Mark can't actually murderize his tower all that easily.
I mean, it looks like he might be able to murderize him. Able to get just enough mana to get off the Rolling Thunder, and now Rald is making the rotation and tag team comes through, getting the extra damage. TP's going to be coming in from the Grimstroke as well. Charge from the Aframoosh, connecting onto Rald. Nappy, now he's going to be silenced with the Phantom's Embrace. Can they come over and make a play onto him? No, the Swashbuckle gets off.
That would have totally been a Double King rotation as well if he had the Solar Guardian up, but he only now cracks level 6. And that means Mark's gonna go farm the jungle for a little bit. But yeah, the thing here is that as soon as Nappy shows in another lane, Mark
Celestial
runs down
Hammer
the tower.
into Starbreaker. Now we have the Ink Swell applied to Double King. He's going to run forward, try to get the stun. Now he does onto Rald, but they're under the tower, so they don't want to dive much further. That Ink Swell just came out a split second too late.
Yeah, especially because they need to kill Dave. Like, if you're running at Rald, he's fairly tanky, and you try to bring him down, all that time Dave is just spitting on you from the sidelines. You can't actually make that happen. You need the Viper.
Oh, Solar Guardian coming down onto Curly. Double King wanting to get involved here. We have a TP, rainbow of TPs. All the supports are coming around. Snowball coming through, going to connect onto Isla, but not enough time. They do bring down the carry. And now it's just 2 supports. Meanwhile, Aframoosh with the charge connection, able to bring down the Pangolier in the mid lane. Now the hunt continues down bottom. They're not letting Rald walk out of here with his life. The Starbreaker is there, bringing him down and leaving a bunch of spiders.
And this spells trouble. We don't have a living armor right now, and Isla is now going to, he's going to be cutting Curly. We saw before that as long as Curly has the rod on, Isla can't actually do enough with the insatiable hunger.
Oh,
But,
up top.
Top lane is getting
Aframoosh, it's just
clowned
the
on.
supports. Just the supports, but now Mark coming in with the haste rune. Runs past Curly. Now he's going to come back in. Start bringing the damage. Start doing the disco pony dance. As there's the Rolling Thunder from Nappy, but with this haste rune, he's just able to dodge it out. There's the Dismember, bringing out some extra HP regeneration, but the damage is still coming through all the time. Hooking it back into the tower. They have it. They did it. They brought down the Leshrac.
Took 3 heroes and a lot of doing. Still, yeah, definitely went a little bit too ham there. Underestimated the range on Budge Dismember. It'll be worth it if they get this bottom tower, and you can see them focusing on the bot tower right now.
Oh, coming forward. But there's 4 Radiant heroes down here. If they win this fight, it would be a massive undertaking. Dismember coming out. Onto Double King. Snowball forward. Onto Isla. Isla limping away. Juking. Thinking about it. Thinking about coming back in. The hook is not going to connect.
Keep him
And
busy.
he's going to TP back to his own tier 2 tower. Or tier 1 tower, rather.
Yeah. Because Nappy got forced off Marcus mid. You gotta
Charge.
divide your forces right.
From Afro Moosh, the charge coming in. It connects onto Curly down to the bottom lane. Isla surrounding him. There's going to be this member. Do they have a way to cancel it? No, but they got the Solar Guardian coming in to make sure that everybody stays alive. The Snowball saved from the Rald. The Starbreaker does not connect, but with the Celestial Hammer, they are finally able to bring down this Pudger. And now Rald going to be the next to fall. Isla not going to go down to the tower neither.
Yep. And there is the punishment for TPing Nappy to the mid lane. Because he could not come in, even though he had a Rolling Thunder. He needed to def versus this Lash. And that is exactly how a dual push lineup finally gets his way through a hotly contested bottom lane tower. It's with the TPs. Nothing else.
So, this whole mess is all your fault?
Ooh, the hook. The hook, it connects onto the Grimstroke, and that poor fella is gone from this world.
Oh, well, at least, you know, Grimstroke is such a, like, I know he has a good reason to be sad, but he feels like such a sore loser. At least now he has something to be sad about, you know? Those angsty voice lines.
Oh, Dave getting got him, but there's going to be a rainbow of TPs. The ultimate still came out from the Barathrum, but his carry, the damage, left him in the dust.
I'm so sorry, Grimstroke.
Hey man, did you watch? You don't ever look at our Dota 2, do you?
No. Like, that place gives me hives.
Oh, coming forward. There's going to be the Inkswell stun, the Starbreaker to follow it up, and down goes Dave. But so there was a video. I can't remember the fellow's name, but he was doing like an impression of every Dota 2 hero, and his impression on Grimstroke was, "Quit with the sulking, won't you?" So like you're right on par there. Like he is a little bit of a twit, a little bit of a twilly. Rolling Thunder. But
Great tragedy.
he just got stopped mid-air and shoved back down to the low ground. Dave is going to TP.
Oh.
He's TPing not into the mid lane here, so he went back up to the top. Charge out. Oh, they have the binding spell onto both of them, and here comes Isla as well, making that loop that Kips talked about in game number 1. And here comes the push onto the mid-tier 1 tower.
The Dire Brute curve. Oh, she curves so nicely right through that jungle.
Oh, Solar Guardian down bottom after Mushi had charged in onto Curly. Double King. They're just playing so damn fast, Kips. Now with the Starbreaker able to bring down the Pudge. And
so they have 2 towers taken down, and they have 2 global reach heroes. On top of 2 pushers. Like, if everything goes right, this just plays itself, and you don't even have to think about it anymore. When it doesn't work, it's really hard. It takes a lot of coordination, but like when you're just ahead like this, it feels so good.
Oh, Snowball is going to connect. There's going to be the Overgrowth as well, but here comes the Dawnbreaker coming through with the Starbreaker. It's going to be a good one. Connects onto 2. And they weren't even able to bring down the Barathrum. Charging forward, trying to find his hands onto Rald. It's going to be the Rolling Thunder. But he gets charged up by Aframoosh. Bashed yet again. This Pangolier, he just cannot roll his Thunder. Somebody shutting Garth Brooks up. Curly with the Dismember onto Double King. They're going to back out of this because he realized that he's a bit overmanned here. Help, says Curly.
I think all the help you have is on the field right now, and you're just going to make it work. And they're just going again. Choo choo. Hello, Dave.
Oh, but the charge is actually out onto a creep.
Well, that's a problem for Afro.
He's gonna go for
not
the
anymore.
TP. No, he is. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone from this world. Rald is here. On to Sanctified. There's going to be a TP from Chill as well. The Leech Seed slows. And look at the damage coming through. Rald picking up the final right click with his axe.
Yeah, like a little bit of pushback there, but that entire sequence was just all seed up, and it ends in a Desolator with already some damage on it for a Double King. A Desolator is such a huge power spike for this hero. Like, you know, if you have these Luminosity crits, if you know you're going to be critting, what you want on top is just big damage. It's like how PA doesn't really jive with the Maelstroms. Like, it's not about hitting fast, it's about hitting hard for the one time you hit. And Double King will apply the Deso to Starbreaker with everybody. Smack him down with Luminosity.
Oh, down bottom. Poor Dave.
Yeah, double
using the
push.
mechanism. Trying to stay alive. Double push indeed. Forcing the reactions to come down bottom. Isla going to trade his life here. But now we have some power play Dota happening up top. They know that the TPs came through. They know that these heroes are left here on an island by their lonesome. There's going to be the charge counter with the snowball. Immediately thrown out. Bub with the he's going to get him back to the other side of the shards with the ultimate. Bumping the damage down into Rald. Rald falls.
Yep, so you see, rock in a hard place, because now you have a Lesh on your tower. And you TP to react to the dive bottom, right? You didn't do anything wrong.
Oh no. Now there's going to be a TP.
Yeah.
It's a rainbow of TPs. It's going to be a full team fight. Maybe the first of the game. Buyback on the Tusk. Buyback on the Tree of Protection. The Solar Guardian comes through, but it doesn't connect onto anybody. There's the Soul Bind. Double Phantom's Embrace. Charge through. The Starbreaker does not stun because he was connected with the Overgrowth. This
Gotta get
fight,
Dave now.
Mark. We got to get Dave, man. You're saying he's just chipping through this Leshrac. The Leshrac is going to go down. Double King able to get the return kill, but now the Cup may have run it over. Double King going to fall. The supports shall be going down very soon, but they do get the tower. They do get the tier 1 tower. Afromoosh, he's going to pulverize, trying to run, trying to juke, trying to dodge. Goes into the Shadow Amulet. Please charge away.
Top strats?
Was that intentional?
Yeah,
Looked intentional.
it is intentional. It's yeah, a little bit unfortunate on the targeting there from setup. Like, you can actually get that fight going a lot better if you actually target Dave, but
Oh no,
The way
Afromoosh.
yeah, no, he did that to himself. I was watching that. I was like, yeah.
When I
whatever.
saw his charge come back in onto the creep wave, I immediately panned the camera up there because I knew what was coming.
Yeah. Same, I was watching that, but like, you know, when your eyes glaze over and you're just like, you're seeing the future, you're seeing into the matrix, it's just green numbers.
Sure.
Redhead, brunette, you know the drill. Dead man. Tesla having the time of his life. Getting the BKB pretty soon. Mark's got that bloodstone. Casual cloak. BKB next. Everything's going as planned for Cedab, and they're still not ready to give up this top tower, even though it's definitely gonna cost fight his life.
Yeah. Sanctified. Oh, but the Solar Guardian, no, not quite enough. They are going to connect here. There's going to be the Overgrowth, but he saved
Yeah,
the
you're not on
Celestial
Dave.
Hammer for it. Oh my goodness, look at the damage coming out on this Double King. I believe Double King is going to go down, and they hooked onto the Leshrac as well, so the Dismember is there. He's going to go with the Bloodstone, trying to regen, but it's not enough regeneration. Afromoosh looking for the charge away. Fish going fishing and catching nothing. But they took the bottom tier 2 tower while this happened. This double push lineup that Kips talks about, dude. This girl might know what she's talking about with this game of Dota 2.
Listen, all the tournaments that Vega reached were all on this. Just,
Amazing what you found.
and it's not about heroes. It's a concept. You were talking about concepts before. It's about having two pushing heroes and not having them in the same place at the same time. And it just does this, man. But that doesn't mean that that was a great fight to take on top, by the way. And the fact is, of course, that Isla is encouraged to not show up as well. I'm sure he's going to once the BKB is there, and now that he's taken all that he can take on this bottom side. But you know, if the rest of your team doesn't have as good of a game,
Charge
you're going to
onto
get
Chill.
pushed forward.
Orchid is there as well. We're trying to bring down this Treant Protector. Now Snowball forward, dragging him up onto the high ground. He gets him trapped up off the spire. Aftermove's thinking about bringing him down. Why'd you take him down? The Phantom's Embrace is there. And now Aftermove, he is stuck up on the spire himself. There's going to be the Viper Strike out onto Isla. Isla, he's trying to make the great escape, but he's not quite able to. Now here comes the Rada to hear him. But it's a 5v3 fight at this point in time. Double King as well as the, oh my. Roll up, turn it back around. Dave making the plays. Nappy making the plays.
You need to get on Dave, and you need you can't group before the BKB is on the Broodmother. Like, they got used to the game going well for them. And to be fair, this lineup does slow down once you get all 3 outer towers down, because you have mostly pushers and not initiators, and you have to take the fights where you can find them. But that was not a fight. I think Isla just gets out, and you wait for that BKB. I really want to see after this game how much damage Dave did, because they're just letting this guy, well, spit all over everybody.
Sure.
In a grand old time.
Just letting him do gross, nasty Viper things.
Yeah. It is hard because you're fighting into an overgrowth, right? The overgrowth cancelled out so many of these very nice actions from Double King. He actually has trouble getting on top of heroes at all. So he needs the BKB as well. And yeah, you don't have any blink daggers. You're relying purely on natural reach here. Which is why, well, like if you played a double push strat, like the most ideal hero to play this with is a Dragon Knight. Because a Dragon Knight will take all 3 outer towers and then have exactly the money he needs for a blink dagger. And then you transition a pusher into an initiator into that dark space you just created.
Oh,
All
no.
that thought, Double King.
That's a bad play there.
It is not even a play. He was just walking.
Just out for a walk. Look where this neighborhood has gone to, Kips.
There's an Aghanim Scepter on this Pudge.
Ooh.
That puts the neighborhood in quite a lot of trouble indeed.
Ooh. Let's take a look at the Ice Frog Index. We've not done that for a little while, and for the first time this game since the draft.
Yikers.
Oh no, Isla getting caught out. BKB's trying to walk away. Is actually just manning up and trying to fight? Question mark?
Yeah, otherwise he gets overgrowth. Like, you don't get to walk out.
But overgrowth cooldown.
It was just used.
Oh, okay. I just missed it.
Because that was definitely the sound cue. Do you have all your sounds up?
Yeah, I think nobody's ever asked me that question before. That's the hook to cancel the combo. There's that's a wonderful soul bind there coming out, holding the Pango in place as well. Could have been an absolute catastrophe. And Nappy tried to shield crash over the spire. Now he's gonna blink forward. The swashbuckle. Down goes the Grimstroke. And for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so, this has been all Kingpin.
Yep. I got a bunch of it was in C-Dub's hands, definitely, like a little bit bad on the focus firing, but now as well, they're taking so much space off of the mistakes that C-Dub made that now these kills are definitely just all their own. And you have the Pudge, Ags, you get to take Roche.
They're acting like they want to do something about it. Blink forward is rolled. On to Mark. Snowball. Walrus Punch. Oh, but here comes the charge from Ravenlouche down from the north, or from the southeast. But Curly coming through with the Aegis of the Immortal Ito Solar Guardian coming, trying to save alive this Leshrac. That's going to be the Aegis pop, and they trade the life of the Leshrac for the Aegis pop. And they're going to have to deal with this punch ×2. BKB running up onto the high ground. He's going to turn around, eat onto Rald. Take a little food for the Brood. As that's going to be 2 picked off. Curly is taking down the Grimstroke. Overgrowth onto 2 in the Nether Toxin, and they're just going to rip through both of the heroes who were caught in the Fly's trap.
Yeah, you could hear me calling for the disconnect there. Like, you get the Aegis out, that's wonderful. You trade that for your Leshrac. Please leave. You did everything you could. not so much. The overgrowth going just off cooldown.
Oh no, they know. They know where Double King is. Can he make the plays to get away? Hook, not gonna connect.
And now the time is, it's really up to Kingpin here to make sure that they don't get to the BKBs with any ease whatsoever. There's still quite a ways to go for Double King. There's still quite a ways to go for Mark. You can't let them farm these. Just take everything you can right now. As soon as the BKBs come, this is a whole different ballgame.
Isla coming in with the Orchid out onto the Pudge. He has no rot going. Celestial Hammer coming forward. Starbreaker to follow it up. This is going to be a clean kill of the carry. Dave trying to TP away everybody else. Tuck tail and retreat.
And that was a little disappointing. They have a Pango with a Rolling Thunder. They have a lot of ways to disengage there, but I guess the team was indeed in a hurry to take what they could get and forgot that they should do that together.
A tithe to the impurities.
Oh, Solar Guardian connecting with the stun. Oh, Nappy gonna go down. The Overgrowth came too late, and he is gonna connect with the Starbreaker as well. There's the Soul Bind as well as the Phantom's Embrace, holding them two in place. They're both wrong, but he does get the Snowball off. The stun through. Saving Viper, gonna blink away his Rod. Well timed on the quick fingers. Chill, looking like he's gonna fall. Dave looking like he's gonna fall. As this fight coming up all C-Dub.
Once again, just not together.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
Out a little bit too far. Well, are you sure?
Maybe a little bit ballsy here. BKB's coming out from both of the cores. Blink in, Walrus Punch. Afro-Moosh coming in, Double King coming in, focusing the attention on the Rald first, killed Rald, then killed the rest. Buyback from the tree and Protector. He's got to save his carry. But he cannot. The TP comes in too late, and one by one they fall.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Shawing.
It's unfortunate, really. Like, if you're the Pudge there, sure, that's a very tempting way to, like, immediately recoup your losses, right? You want to just, we just made a misstep, that's okay, I'm gonna pick off this guy here and make us feel good about it again. The problem is that when you were losing this game, you were losing it to the fact that they could constantly bring backup to wherever you picked the fight. And the only thing that turned it around was the Overgrowth. You have no Overgrowth there. So, yeah, sure, you get the Spider, but she doesn't die easily. And then, of course, you get the entire global kit and caboodle thrown at you. And the rest of your team is dead, because you did just lose that fight.
Working towards that Bloodthorn now on the Brood Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we on the BKBs? BKB out for the Dawnbreaker. BKB out for Mark.
So they didn't even have to really be careful while they farmed their BKBs. They got a bunch of good fights, a bunch of good opportunities thrown at them, and that got them the BKBs fast while also regaining a ton of terrain. The Dire Vision is looking really spicy on that bottom side of the map, especially right now.
So what is the counter play here for Kingpin then, Kips?
I like this Blink Dagger that Curly's going for. You could see them working around him in the previous full 5-on-5, where they're just like, yeah, this guy has a very limited AoE, he only deals damage there, we are very mobile, we have good reach, we don't actually have to deal with him. So he's going to make sure that they deal with him one way or another, via that Blink Dagger.
Very close on that hook. Rolling Thunder. He's pump faking it, thinking about it twice, thinking about it 3 times. The charge is starting to come through. Afro gonna immediately take himself out. The Overgrowth holding him in place of the Sentry. But that is an Overgrowth committed just for Afro-Moosh.
They might still want to fight. Mark Sanctified. I mean, this is a risky position, but Dawnbreaker is hitting the bottom racks. Yeah, they're looking to fight. If Kingpin makes a move here, C-Dub will go for him.
Dire's top tower is being attacked. Radiant's bottom
Gotta be very careful about it. And they're just not getting any tower damage done.
Tower is being attacked.
Because in 10 seconds... 9, 8... We're gonna hear moo. I'm gonna go straight for Dave.
Oh, the hook connects onto Isla. Isla with the BKB. The charge is going to come through. The charge is coming through onto Curly. The Solar Guardian coming in. Nappy going with the overgrowth. No, he ran into the soul bind. Oh dear, oh me, oh my. The charge comes through. It connects onto the Pudge, onto Curly. Isla chomping away at Rald. Rald going to go into the snowball, trying to stay alive for now. Meanwhile, Nappy at the top of your screen. He's being aggressive upon himself. Rald. Oh no, Curly. Not Curly. Not like this, Curly. No. Mark with the BKB Bloodstone just running through everybody. As that's Curly down. That's Dave soon to fall. Nappy trying to do what he can, but with the ink spell pop. That is the death of the Viper. Nappy going into the roll-up. Now he's going to get silenced. He's going to get stunned. Death to Nappy as well. Only the Treant survives to tell the tale.
Blonde, brunette, redhead, dead man, dead man, dead man. Yeah. This is how something that seems to give you an advantage, like you go in for the top tower, you know, all right, we can only take this top tower if we get, and this is flowchart Dota, right? We can only take the top tower if we get an opening kill, so we need an opening kill. You get handed an opportunity for an opening kill, but only if you spend the overgrowth. Unfortunately, flowchart says that you cannot take any fights if you don't have overgrowth in this game.
Right.
So... if you know that, then you don't overgrowth there, and you unfortunately get left empty-handed. But as it turns out, the result of getting the kill is way worse.
And now, Roshan, earliest respawn timer. No, it's going to be a long one. It's going to be another 2 minutes and 55 seconds before Roshan is able to be respawned. Who does that benefit, Kips?
I'm guessing that it's going to sorta benefit Kingpin, because like if they stay close and hold hands, as long as they don't spend the overgrowth onto anything frivolous, like they can, depending on what CW want to do here, right? Like if they want to pick a fight again, if they don't realize, but I think they realize it's about the overgrowth. I don't think they're going to actually take a fight where they can get Treanted to death. So this should just be a chill time, and if it's a chill time, then it favors the Dire.
I will miss my reflection.
If they get overconfident again, or if they can find the Treant, of course, and just 100 to 0 him.
Oh, silence coming out onto Rald. Does he have any friends in the area? The Broodmother's not even going to chase it. She doesn't want to risk it here.
Tower is under siege.
Treant's calling for a reinvasion of his own triangle.
Radiant's top tower is being
He says restoring for hold hands, and he is correct.
Rolling Thunder coming forward onto Isla. He finds it with the Blink Dagger. The Dismember, the Solar Guardian coming through. Can it keep alive this Brood Mama? No. But Double King is here, as well as Mark. The Bloodstone is going. Forsaff from Sanctify, trying to get himself to safety. He is going to go down all the same. Aftermoose connects with the charge. Rald getting aggressed upon. BKB. Can he get it? They do. They get it. They get that kill. They brought down the Treant as well. Now here comes Nappy. Look at the damage coming out from Mark, though. He's getting so much regeneration. Down goes Curly. Dave, though. We've got to do something about Dave. We've got to do something about Dave. Aftermoose is going to charge onto Nappy. The bash is there. And he is actually able to pick up this kill onto Nappy. Now going for the TP away, but it's not enough. The damage from Dave is just too damn much.
And you can see there, like, I think he held the overgrowth a little bit long, but still, that was excellent. You could see that now he knows that it's about the overgrowth, and they get the overgrowth off. They don't get too good of a fight because it's not too good of an overgrowth, and they're pretty spread over on the Dire. It's hard to, you know, get them all in that AoE damage of the punch, but yeah, that is a successful fight into a team that has a 9k lead over you, just because he held the overgrowth. It's so fun to see teams figure this out during the match, right? Like,
Sure.
I get it like one fight before them perhaps, but that's really only because I have the benefit of hovering above them. I didn't call this in the draft. Like once you get to like AoE levels, you can call that in the draft, and I'm like very jealous of that ability. But
And this Roshan looking like it's going to go in the hands of C-Dub, starting to make some rotations up, but maybe they're just farming the triangle here, is Curly Sue and Chill.
Hook always good versus Roche fights, but the question is, do you really? Will you like what you catch if you go fishing here?
Roll. Tried to go for a steal. Not able to get it. That's going to be Aegis going in the pocket of the Mark Lestrak as the BKB pops out from Curly, but the charge forward from Afro Moosh. At Chill. Can we break down Chill? No. The overgrowth. It holds them into place. But this is more of a defensive one, less than an offensive one. Not good enough indeed. As they're able to bring down Curly. They're able to bring down the tree and protector. Buyback is available on the tree should they push it to that point. The ping's coming out. Oh, well, they're actually going to go bottom here. We do have Solar Guardian on the Dawnbreaker, so I reckon that makes sense.
She gets to get some extra farm out of this, make sure that this wave does not get free damage onto her tower, and she'll be back, especially because now that the overgrowth is not available, her jump in will be unobstructed. This is a problem now. This Leshrac was already a solid damage dealer, but after some point, you know, the mana pool is empty and you're fairly tanky over on Kingpin, so they could work with that before, but you have a lot of AoE damage. You're gonna kill this Lash. He's gonna die eventually, and then he's gonna come back with the vengeance, and I don't see them winning a fight while Mark has his Aegis in his saddlebags. Not at all. He's just leaving his bottle at the rune. Yeah, that's for Double King. Double damage. Basher, fully leveled up Desolator. Let's go. And now you just cruise to the bottom side of the map, but Isla has a TP. He's gonna either walk there or TP there, but they have look at how all three of their cores are on all three different lanes right about now. That's a supremely confident posturing. Normally, if you're Kingpin, you're like, man, I'd punish that. Like, you see all three cores in all three different lanes shortly after another, you pick one and you run at them, but they back each other up too fast.
Yeah. This global lineup, they really are difficult to play against when executed to perfection. And I won't quite call this perfection, but it has been pretty damn good from C-Dub.
Yep. They've really leaned into all of their abilities. It feels very comfortable.
Oh,
maybe a bit too
five-man
comfortable at some
smoke.
points. Right, they saw the Lesh on top.
Sanctified.
And they know the spiders are there as well.
Popping the smoke.
Yeah, Double King. He's walking in.
Double King coming from the right-hand side. There's going to be the Solar Guardian in immediately popping through and going to double up on the Starbreaker. Look how fast they fall. That's Death of Dave, who's been the bane of their existence for all of these fights, as that's going to be the death of Curly Nappy. The Rolling Thunder has ended. Celestial Hammer forward. The double damage popped onto Double King, and you can see the damage he brought in the fight before. Snowball gonna blink out shortly. No, he's gonna get Starbreaker. BKB from Raw, but no, he does go down. That's a full team wipe. And that honestly is that just the game?
I think so. His base is going to melt like butter in the sun. Nothing to do about it. You spent your glyph. Desolator plus the spider plus, yeah, it's just like, hey guys, why are we hitting racks exactly? We got Lesh, Broodmother. One more glyph. Get that out of the way. Now we can get back to the racks. I suppose you could get hooked into Fountain. I suppose.
Charge coming through onto the Tusk. Celestial Hammer. Oh, and he's going to use the ultimate on the tree and locking down both of them and ensuring 2 kills. Afromoosh stunting on this Barathrum as they're sieging the Ancient. This is going to be GG whether they call it or not. C-Dub taking game number 3 against Kingpin.
And a lot better recovery from them this time than in the previous game where they got, like, where their lead got sort of taken away from them. But to be fair, this is a lot easier lineup to work around. Like, you have this Pudge who is a strong core, but a very limited one that is ignorable to a certain extent. You've got a Viper who deals good damage, but it's not a hard carry, you know?
Right.
And really your only problem here was the overgrowth. And once you have enough in the tank to just sustain through that, it becomes very hard for Kingpin to kill people during that overgrowth, because where's the burst damage coming from them exactly? None of them scale traditionally.
Right. Yeah, and that was the thing that I was worried about when I was just looking at the Viper last pick. I was just kind of concerned with the way that it was gonna go, and we saw how it went, and yeah, C-Dub they're gonna end our broadcast at 2-1 on the day, but surely they're not satisfied with that. They want to keep going. They want to make an appearance again on the Radacast later in the grand finals where they're playing in the money match. Again, this is a $400 prize pool at stake today in this single day tournament. Miss Kips, is there anything that you would like to add before we call the broadcast?
Nothing except that Dave did indeed do the most hero damage on his team.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to look at that.
Very slim margin, by the way. Like, he's literally 150 damage. Curly is 150 damage behind, but still, that's your Viper right there, putting in the work.
Yeah, and I mean he really did. He had a hell of a game on the Viper. I just didn't necessarily like the pick, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh no, you're still a Viper. And it's
Right.
that's just my analysis right there. You're still a Viper, and everybody knows exactly what I mean. If you don't know it, just go play Viper, and you're like, oh, I'm a Viper.
Right. Yeah, if you don't know, maybe you learned something today from Miss Kips. I know I learned plenty today, so thank you again to Kips for making another appearance on the Radacast. Big round of applause and all that jazz. I wish I had a soundboard. I'd be like blowing it up right now and everything. But also, I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in today. We had some good chat interaction. Shout out to Game and Pizza for making a return appearance after last night, and I'm sure that you'll be back here in this evening when we're back on for the grand finals game, with the way that you're becoming the most loyal fan on the Radacast. But yeah, thank you to everybody, and GG, and good afternoon.